time for Sportstime on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sportstime is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stat Scoresworthy and Brian Davis.
Is this how we're starting today, Brett?
Speechless.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
You want me to take it from here?
Yeah, please.
Good afternoon, everyone, and we welcome you into Sports Time. And when your team in the neighborhood wins the national championship, we will start with the next day with your fight song.
Yeah, that's how we do it.
And we hope other fight songs come soon.
You know what? I'm actually kind of glad because my headphones weren't working fully.
You can't help but tap your foot to it.
Okay, and we've had this conversation before, I think, Brett. I am a sucker. I don't like country music, really.
I'm not a country music fan.
But I am a sucker for a fiddle. I mean, you got a fiddle in your song, I most likely...
Some call it a violin.
Sure.
Country music world.
That's right.
They call it a fiddle.
They call it a fiddle. And so, there's some Rocky Top versions that you hear that have a little fiddle action in it, and I'll be honest, I don't like the song, but I mean, you kind of enjoy the fiddle in it.
Congratulations to the Big Orange.
Yeah, what a game last night. That was incredible. I couldn't even, as a lot of people know, on Mondays we have Rebel Yell right after our show, so I'm transitioning in there to go get Rebel Yell started.
You were every fight song last night you love.
And I can't even turn the game on before Tennessee already scored. Yeah. And so like John earlier today was talking, he's like, yeah, did you see that at bat by Christian Moore? And I was like, honestly, John, I didn't. It happened so fast, I completely missed it. And so, yeah, they go up big early, and then, Texas A&M makes it a little difficult late, but it never really felt like they had enough in them to
full
come
control
back and win the game. It's full control.
Now, they were trying to land the airplane late.
They definitely were. And
just get to the dog pile.
And our friend David Cobb that we talked to yesterday, he was on with John today, and we were talking a little bit before he got on, and then he, I think, mentioned it again after he got on, about how he, growing up a Tennessee fan, going to the University of Tennessee, he has experienced a lot of, okay, we feel good, we've got this, and then, oh no, disaster. And so he said last night watching that game, even late in the game, he couldn't really enjoy it until that final out, because you never know what's going to happen with this Tennessee team.
Well, in men's sports, it's been an uncomfortably long wait.
Oh, absolutely.
With a lot of good teams and a lot of good coaches.
Oh, yeah.
I will submit that Tony Vitello won this year, not with his least best team. It was a real good team.
Sure.
60-win team.
Yeah.
His team 2 years ago was better.
Oh, for
the
sure.
year Ole Miss won.
For sure.
The year Mike Bianco won, he had better Ole Miss teams than the one that won.
Oh, yeah. And I think you're absolutely right. I think you can say that about Vitello's team, because I think you can definitely make the argument 2 years ago was a better team. You can make the argument last year.
State had better teams.
Oh, certainly.
State had better teams with Ron Polk than the one that won it in 21.
Yeah, and that's kind of how
really
it works
random
out.
In baseball,
it absolutely is. But you talk about the dominance of Vitello, and I was going to save this till 3:30 when we start talking about it, but I'm going to bring it up now because I think it's such an interesting statistic. It's such a fun statistic.
You want to know the Dash Rocky Top?
I don't. No, I'm good on that. We don't need the Rocky Top in the background. One's enough for today, I think. Here was a stat I saw earlier this morning. It was posted last night after the game. When Tony Vitello took over Vol baseball in June of 2017, the program hadn't been to the NCAA tournament since 2005, and it has their games above 500 at the end of the year. 2006, 7 games over 500. 2007, 9 games over 500. 2008, 2009, they were both under 500 that year. 2010, 4 games over 500. 11, 12, 13, all under 500. As much in 2013, 8 games under 500. 2014, 8 games over 500. 2015, back under 500. Then 2 years where they're barely over 500. Tony Vitello gets the job. His first year, 2 games over 500. Second year, 19 games over 500. 2021, 32 games. 2022, 48. 2023, 22. And this year, 47 games over 500.
That's impressive.
I mean, that is domination.
It is.
From Tony Vitello. And we know how good that
Notre Dame doesn't get him in 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I don't know that Ole Miss wins it.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, and I mean we know how tough the SEC is year in and year out, and I mean you can just look at the teams that have played in the College World Series and see how good the SEC is as a conference. But to be able to go in there and dominate the way Vitello has done these last couple of years has really been impressive to watch, and really has things rolling with Rocky Top and their baseball program right now.
I have said I think winning the College World Series is the hardest thing in team sport. I think the hardest thing in individual sport is like winning the U.S. Amateur.
Yeah,
going through even to get to match play. Excuse me, two match play, really difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. But when it comes to college baseball and the way that postseason is set up, and it just makes it very difficult. And
winning game one in Omaha,
certainly, and it's so different because you look at, and you can say I hear people say this so many times, but college football, college basketball, no matter what environment you're going to be in, and up until now, what we're going to see in college football, it's mostly been neutral sites, but dimensions are the exact same. We're going out there, it's a 100-yard field, it's the same.
10 yards, get first down.
Exactly. Baseball, very different. Every environment is completely different. And then you go to Omaha, which is completely different from any college baseball stadium out there with its dimensions and how big it is.
And the wind.
And the wind, and just feels bigger when you're out there.
The intensity of the fans.
Yeah.
Never mind Rocco's, but just all the lobby fandom and attachment. You don't have that week in, week out when you go to a weekend series at Auburn.
That's right. It's nothing like it. And so I think it makes it, 10 times harder when it comes to college baseball to, be able to go to Omaha and figure that place out and keep winning games like Tennessee did. Because it was dominance. Once they got to Omaha, it didn't look like there was anybody that could beat them.
Well, from the check on.
Yeah.
Yeah. The check or the swing.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah.
It's so often misstated. It is not a check swing. It's either a check or it's a swing.
Yes, yeah. And that was that was what won it for him, honestly. That was the start of the turnaround.
It really was.
And
that Friday night.
Yeah, and it's now gotten them to this spot.
What sport, Darren, jump in here with your 2 cents on this. Which sport produces the best champion? That when we get to the end of it, that would nail it. Football, basketball, or baseball?
That 6-game run in March is something else.
That is something.
That 6-game run in March is something
else. All right, let me play the other side. If you're a 1 or 2 seed, and we know it's happened twice ever with ones and a little more frequency with 2s, your first game's a gimme.
Yeah.
Your second game it's not a gimme, it's not a layup, but it's a 2-footer off the glass. Then it gets real.
Sure.
To finish it out for one shining moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I would probably lean basketball, but it's close.
Tougher than baseball. Or produces the right champion.
I think produces the right champion. I think baseball's the toughest. I think that's why it doesn't produce the right champion every time. And so
I think
would say
football
basketball
produces the best champion. Anybody really quibbling with Michigan?
No.
Okay, maybe Georgia coming in off the top rope. Maybe.
Yeah,
We're going to have more of that going forward.
Yeah.
I might not be able to say that with, I don't know how certain I am of it now.
Sure.
But even with the certainty I am of it today, in 2 years, when we start wading through 12 teams.
Well, that's a good point because I think it completely changed. I think right now you could say football produces the champion. But I think once we get to 12-team play, we don't know how these teams are going to play when it comes to you've got to win this game, then now you're in the semifinals, and now you're in the championship game.
Because that number 1 seed that used to, it just advanced and had to win a game, 1 versus 2. Then we went to 4 teams, you had to win 2. Well, number 1 seed now will have that bye the first weekend.
Yeah.
Will advance to college 8. Let that quarterback get hurt in that game.
Florida State?
Yeah.
Florida State. Darren, Florida State.
That's a good point.
That is a great point. And it cost FSU.
Yeah.
It cost FSU in 98 when it was 2 teams against Tennessee. The last time Tennessee won a national championship in men's sport.
Yeah. No, you're right about that.
That we keep up with. Football, basketball, baseball.
Of course.
People know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
I don't need to mention every sport in the department.
No, but I think you're right. I think a lot's going to change. But you're right. I think I'm with you. Football. I think produces
baseball the hardest. We're all there.
Baseball's the hardest, 100%.
And because it's so weird, it's gotten weird at the big league level. Last week I was talking about the Yankees. They're in October. Mm-hmm. I mean, it would take something cataclysmic. Sure. I mean, something maybe too big, too much to bear to talk about.
Yeah.
That would knock the Yankees out of October. So then you get to October 10th. Boy, when we were last time we were in a game we really needed to win.
Yeah.
June 8th.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I think, and Bruce Marshall has started the project of going back and doing, if we had had playoffs all these years in college football, would it still produce John McKay's USC Trojans and Darrell Royals Texas Longhorn National Championship and Devaney and Osborne's Nebraska Cornhuskers? Bet it wouldn't. Somewhere along the way.
Sure.
A fun one. I don't have the time to do it. It would be fun, though. All that Yankee dynasty, and they're so proud of 27.
Oh, yeah.
Would you have them if you didn't just automatically advance to the World Series by winning the American League by 9 games?
It certainly makes it a little tougher.
I don't want to disparage Mickey Mantle and Roger Maris and those teams, Whitey Ford, Donald, all those great teams.
Sure.
But you just add in one more layer. You just add in LCS before it came in the late 60s.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it changes everything.
It trips you at some point.
Sure.
You don't have 27.
No. I mean, you might have more than not, but it's going to trip you up somewhere.
Same for the Cardinals.
Certainly.
Same for the Celtics as well.
Yeah.
Boston Celtics.
A little more playoffs.
A little more playoffs.
Sure.
And all that in the 60s for Auerbach, Russell, et al.
Yeah. No, I think you're spot on. But it was a fun game last night, and Tennessee, congrats! Did you see Vitello jump into the crowd and celebrate with the?
I love
celebrate
him.
with the fans. I mean,
I love him.
He's a character, but he knows what he's doing. Out
Best
there.
Gatorade bath I've seen.
Well,
when he started eating the ice, throwing it up in there,
right.
it just gave me
And
John Harden vibes.
He knows what. Vitello does give a lot of John Harden vibes.
I want somebody to tell me and give me an answer other than the stock answer from everybody. The players would shut him off immediately.
Yeah.
Why don't we ever hire from college to big leagues?
I mean, that's a really good question because
we do it in everything else.
Well, and I think you have an argument for the players would shut him off. I mean, Ollie Marmol is their same age. I mean, that's what the kind of the good thing about hiring Ollie Marmol was. Oh, he's the same age as all these guys.
We've had players shut off Buck Showalter.
Yes, so I mean, I don't think
Buck's been around since Abner Doubleday.
I don't think, and
I love him.
Yeah, I don't think that'd be an issue. Honestly, I don't like that argument.
Dusty Baker got shut off in Chicago.
Sure. Oh, absolutely, and he is
lifer's lifer.
Exactly. So I think that's I don't like that argument at all.
It's the correct argument.
Sure.
Somebody give me something other than that one.
Yes.
Of why 25 years ago somebody, let's give Ron Polk a chance.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not the one to argue it because I don't really see many arguments.
I mean, we know Ron Polk knows baseball.
Sure, of course, 100%. But I don't know. But Darian, you bring up a good point. I've never seen John Harden and Tony Vitello in the same place. So I mean, could be the same person.
Could be.
Dun, dun, dun.
And John's been dealing with a lot of injuries, a lot of travel maybe, trying to get back and forth.
Almost the player to be named later.
Yeah, he really is.
It's the hair and the beard.
That's right.
It's the whole ensemble.
It's the whole thing.
So we got 2024 Tennessee, 2023 LSU, 22 Ole Miss, 21 Mississippi State. No tournament in 20 because of the vid. 2019 Vanderbilt. 2017 Florida. 2011 South Carolina. Who's next in the SEC? If it's your turn, who's next?
Someone that hasn't won.
That would be Alabama, Arkansas, Auburn, Texas A&M, and Kentucky. Texas won in 05, Oklahoma in 94, Georgia in 90, Mizzou 1954. And then everybody else never. Arkansas, Alabama, Auburn, A&M, and Kentucky.
I think the easy answer is Kentucky with the season they've had, and if they can build off that. But I'd say Alabama's right there as well. I mean, Alabama's done some nice things. They had to fire their head coach last year because he's gambling on his own games, and they hire somebody else, and still, a
Who
good
can't
team
survive
this
that
year.
scandal these days?
Well, it seems like it's everywhere, but
That's kind of ham and egg scandal for
sure
these
is.
scandalous
Yeah,
times.
that's
isn't it?
right. Yes,
I think next is the last night's runner-up.
Yeah. Oh, Texas A&M. Yeah, that's a good one. I didn't hear you say them as a non-champion. So yeah,
Did I not?
You might have. I might have just been not listening to that one because I had already kind of circled Kentucky and
Which
Alabama.
one? Because Arkansas fans want it so badly,
Sure.
and it's been so close.
Mm-hmm.
If not for that pop-up, they're on that list in 2018.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's 7 straight for
Yeah.
the SEC.
Oh, it's incredible.
It's 7 straight,
Yeah.
except for 3 people under a can of corn.
No, you're right about that.
Which one grinds their gears the most of the idea of the next SEC team to win it?
for Arkansas? I think it's Texas A&M.
Being next.
Yeah.
I think it is too. This would drive them crazy.
Okay.
The idea of State or Ole Miss getting a second
Well,
one
yes.
before they
yes,
got the
yes.
first one.
I think that would also.
That would
drive
be
them mad.
fire
Yes.
everybody.
Oh yeah.
If you walk by the stadium, fire him.
I think you're right. I think it's a lot of answers though. I think every time an SEC team
Vitello
wins
going
it,
back to back next year
yeah.
would grind a few
it sure
gears.
would. But I mean, I think that's kind of where Arkansas is at right now. Is like they think they should be at the top of the SEC and are at the top of the SEC when the season
Budget,
starts every
stadium,
year. It's everything.
importance,
So I think
money.
I think any time an SEC team wins it all, it grinds their gears. Others more than most,
this year
but-
had the whole 64 football, 94
Yeah.
basketball, 2024
Sure.
baseball, and didn't get there.
Yeah, that's right. So
And to have to watch a former assistant coach,
yeah,
fan
sure. Yeah.
surfing in Omaha.
Sure was. It was an interesting scene last night. But let me set up today's show before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, we'll talk more about the College World Series, everything that happened last night as Tennessee gets a win and a lot of celebration from the Tennessee faithful. I saw our friend Alan Bell. I must have already gotten prepared before he posted
Got gear.
His gear this morning, so it seemed like he was prepared.
There are a
before
lot of
last
happy
night.
Tennessee fans
A lot,
today.
and good for them. 3:45, we'll talk the NBA draft. Some really interesting things happening as we're only a day away from the first round of the NBA draft. 4 o'clock. Brent Beard from First Coast News in Jacksonville. He'll join us, talk some college football, a lot of college football news and nuggets to get to as we get closer and closer to the season. 4:30, we'll talk some Major League Baseball. 4:45, we'll get to big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Bo Marchant will join us to talk the NFL, but also the start of our rankings, quarterback and head coach rankings for the AFC West as we get that series
We start with an easy one.
We start with an easy one. It'll get difficult from here, but we'll do that at 5 o'clock with Bo. 5:30, we'll get to what's trending. And, Brett, I've got something I think I want to bring up to you
Please
because
do.
you've been to a lot of these places. I want to do this during what's trending. The new EA Sports college football games coming out soon.
Well, Brian, we're already around each other too much. I had it down.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Toughest places to play was announced today. They did the top 25.
A&M's so overrated. I love it.
I know you do, and that's why when I
Nothing
saw
tough
it,
about it.
and obviously a lot of SEC on
It's
there.
marshmallow soft.
I'm
nice.
excited.
It's clean.
Yeah,
It's homespunny.
but is it the toughest place to play? Ugh, I don't think so. I definitely want to get to that at 5:30. I'm glad you also have that down.
Tiger Stadium in
talk
Baton
about.
Rouge
Oh,
right
yeah.
now on a June afternoon stuffer.
Oh, yeah. So we'll talk about that at 5:30. And then at 5:45, wrap up today's show like we always do with Taco Bell Crunch Time. Let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. Summer's here and it's time to party. 24-foot above ground pools for $19.99. All ladders, filter systems, and robotic cleaners, 20% off. Select in-stock patio furniture up to 50% off. Play gyms up to $1,000 off. Patio umbrellas, 20% off. And 4-person hot tubs only $29.99. Also, don't forget about the discounted pricing on all in-stock pool toys and floats while supplies last. Head over to Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40.
Produced by Darian Newsom. He's Bryant. I'm Brett. We're Sportstime. We're with you until 6 o'clock. And we want you to be a part of our show at 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line. All our guests will appear on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line at 901-360-8255. This hour of our show brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2024 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. Call them at 901-334-9673, but stop by the one and only Lexus dealership in town at 2600 Ridgeway and put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2024 flagship LS500, and you'll be looking and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it's got to be the Tennessee Volunteers winning in Omaha.
They drank their corn
night.
from a jar. The song says, right?
Yes, it does. But it was fun last night in Omaha. It was a wild night trying to keep up with everything.
I've never had moonshine.
Last night, I have not either, unfortunately.
I hope on my last day on earth I can say that.
Yes. But it was kind of wild last night. I mean, trying to jump between the College World Series Game 3, Game 7 of
great,
hockey.
Didn't it?
It sure
Cardinal
did.
ending, Tennessee
Cardinals,
ending,
yes.
the hockey ending.
That's right. You also had, I was peeking in on the Olympic trials last night on NBC, so I was all over the place.
Fast water or slow water?
Running this time, so fast track or slow track. But it was a really good night of sports, but definitely highlighted by the College World Series. What a game it was. Tennessee gets all over Texas A&M, and Texas A&M tried to fight back, even though it never really felt like they would have enough to beat Tennessee. And even Friday night when Texas A&M, or Saturday night, whenever Game 1 was, when Texas A&M won and felt like we're in control most of the game, it still felt like it's going to be hard to see Tennessee lose back-to-back games. So here we are with Tennessee being the champion. On the ice, the Florida Panthers get the win last night over the Edmonton Oilers. Some mad people in my house last night. I guess just one mad person.
Has Edmonton made it back home?
I hope so. Hope they made it safe.
You think they stayed the night or charter left last night?
I bet they probably left last night.
I bet so too.
Get out of town, get back home. Now, they did fly home with the MVP trophy.
The Conn Smythe trophy,
Oh,
Brian.
wow, Brett. Wow.
I watched the ceremony.
All over
Am I
it.
right? Only the second in defeat ever?
No, sixth in defeat.
Sixth, okay.
Ever.
See, I wasn't right.
So,
Me and hockey.
That's
Yeah.
right. I think it was sixth. That's what I heard last night. Or read, one of the two. So, very interesting night with
Jerry
two
West
champions.
never won the Conn Smythe in defeat?
No. But yeah, so I don't know.
Too soon?
Oh,
A little.
a little, but no, it was a fun night last night with all of the championship action, and now two champions, the Tennessee Volunteers and the Florida Panthers.
We had champions last night. That was a good Monday night just dropped on us the last Monday in June, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was fun last night. My top story, ain't no telephone bills, the song says. Smokey led the dog pile fittingly in Omaha. And fittingly in Omaha with Peyton Manning in attendance. Tony Vitello's had the best program probably the last 4 years in college baseball, and it starts with SEC. If you're the best there, you're the best in college baseball. Since the vid, they've been winning everything but not winning at all. But winning it all in baseball is the hardest thing to do, and they got it done last night. SEC shows its dominance again. 5 straight, 6 out of 7. And if Arkansas could catch a pop-up, it would be 7 out of 7 going for the SEC, and no end in sight.
No, not at all.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day has got to be the NBA draft tomorrow night. Obviously, very excited to see what the Grizzlies do with their pick at 9. Do they move up? Do they move down? Do they stay at 9? I think all options are still on the table. But I'm also excited to see what happens at the top of the draft. Alex Sarr, who's been projected the number 1 pick for a lot of this cycle, it now sounds like he declined to work out in Atlanta, to work out with the Hawks. But also today, the Hawks CEO, Steve Koonin, went on one of the local radio shows and was asked, hey, This guy that's been viewed as the number one prospect doesn't want to visit Atlanta? What's up with that? And he got super defensive. And what do you mean he don't want? Who said he wanted to didn't want to come visit us? Don't believe everything you read. Maybe he did want to come visit us. Maybe we just didn't want him here.
They're always wrong.
Always blaming the media. We even went out to say everyone saw him at the combine. Why would you need to bring him in for a workout when we saw him at the combine? So I think I'm to the point where I want the Hawks to draft Alex Sarr with the number 1 pick just to see how it plays out. Because very clearly,
if you want to play in the NBA, you're going to have to sign with him.
Exactly. And it's very clear either him or his team does not want him to be with the Atlanta Hawks. And I'd just love to see how that played out. I think it would be a lot of drama.
I wonder what their irritation with Atlanta is.
The only thing I can guess is now the Atlanta Hawks right now is not the best situation. I don't think they want to trade everybody on their roster, but
I guarantee you there's a direct from Hartsfield to Paris.
Oh, for sure. But he was with Overtime Elite, and I know they're based in Atlanta. So I wonder if it's something there with his past.
Friction
with
from the
Overtime
past?
Elite. Maybe they just don't want him in Atlanta. I don't know. Because here's the thing. I could understand saying I don't want to play in Atlanta, but then saying I'd be completely fine playing with the Washington Wizards at number 2. Who in their right mind wants to play for the Wizards? Nobody.
Well, there's a direct from Dulles to Paris, too.
Well.
A lot of flights. My not top story is Florida avoiding the embarrassment last night. Florida Panthers, they hang on to win Game 7, and they had to hang on. That last 3 minutes was a frenzy. No hockey aficionado am I. Does that shock y'all?
No, it doesn't shock me at all. Maybe the least shocking thing I've heard today.
Why did they not pull the goalie quicker?
Oh, a great question.
Is it legit? Outrage?
I think
phone lines wide open in Edmonton over it?
I understand why they didn't to an extent, but me and my brother were
playing Rocky
screaming.
Top in Edmonton today?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I can understand both sides of pulling the goalie last night.
You can? You could argue both sides?
I could, yeah.
I was surprised, but the biggest thing last night, all of us, poor Canada.
Oh, man.
Poor Canada. Now next year, it'll be 32 years since a Canadian team last won it. And here's the really bad news for Canada. 2 weeks of summer left before winter starts.
That is true.
Get the overcoats out in 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, got to. That was a
Frozen
fun hockey
ponds
game
everywhere
last
in
night.
2 weeks.
I think anybody that is not a hockey fan just watching that game last night probably enjoyed watching it. That was a really fun game.
It played out great for me. Most of the Cardinals into Tennessee.
Yeah.
I was pulling hard for Tennessee. And then to the hockey.
Is that okay to say?
It is. It's very loud.
So it was a good night, nonetheless. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's go ahead and get to our first break. And when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about Tennessee's victory last night, their College World Series win. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This 4th of July, celebrate freedom with your favorite barbecue store, Memphis Barbecue Supply. Whether you're a grilling novice or a seasoned pitmaster, Memphis Barbecue Supply has everything you need to make this Independence Day unforgettable. From a wide selection of premium chip, chunk, mini logs, pellets, and logs of wood, and over 378 different rubs, sauces, injections, and glazes to choose from. Here at Memphis Barbecue Supply, we have everything but the meat. You can stop by anytime. We're open 7 days a week for your convenience. Our knowledgeable, award-winning pitmasters on staff are more than happy to assist you with any questions you have for your next cook. Memphis Barbecue Supply is located at 7041 Stage Road in Memphis. Or you can order online at mbbqsupply.com. Follow us on all the social media platforms for recipes, new products, and barbecue news.
Make your next grill your last with a Big Green Egg. Smoke, bake, roast, sear, and grill, all with a lifetime warranty. Save money on fuel, eating out, and replacing expensive grills that cannot match the flavor of the Big Green Egg. Ready to cook in only 10 to 15 minutes with temperatures below 200, above 700, and anywhere in between with ease. Change your at-home cooking experience for life. Go to shop.biggreenegg.com.
Something amazing is happening in video conferencing. People are showing up in big ways. That's because CDW is building collaborative and connected video and audio environments with HP Poly. With With noise block AI to silence distractions and group framing to highlight speakers, everyone on your team gets to shine. Make amazing happen. HP Poly and CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/poly.
Everyone loves home improvement. South Haven Supply and Warehouse 51 makes it easy. A real hardware store run by 3 generations of a real hardware family where you can get it all. Whether it's repairs, remodeling, or new building, kitchens, bathrooms, tiles, tubs, vanities, sinks, mirrors, lighting, furniture, even door hardware. All the latest designs as well as timeless classics. And if outdoor fun is on your mind, they have the Big Green Egg and Accessories. South Haven Supply and Warehouse 51. 8560 Highway 51. Easy home improvement.
It's the Kia Summer Sticker Sales Event. It's going strong at Dawson Kia on the Pike. Are you ready to ride in your new Kia with 41 MPG Highway? We got it! 2024 Kia Forte LXS, $199 a month, $34.99 to a signing. How about 282 miles of EPA estimated range with new 2023 Kia EV6 Win, $249 a month. And 2024 Kia Telluride LX357 a month, both $39.99 to its signing, all 24-month lease. And get peace of mind with Kia's 10-year 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Call Bobby J. He's ready to put you in your new Kia today. Gossett Kia 1900 Covington Pike online, KiaCovingtonPike.com. If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars. Rebates and incentives. Lease includes PF 695, 650 acquisition fee, EV6 P561 0964, MSRP 50,200, Telluride RG 510 849, MSRP 38305, Forte LXS RE 78169, MSRP 21820. Plus finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 6/30/2024 with approved credit dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Brian Gates.
Welcome back in Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios. We got to talk more about Tennessee's win last night. Really a big night when you look at this Tennessee, not just baseball program, but athletics. I mean, you look at that.
It was time.
It was definitely time. I mean, you look at basketball's gotten close-ish, but nothing really crazy.
I mean, if you don't really make a big Final Four run with Dalton Connect,
that's right.
When are you?
Exactly. And then football. It's been a while, and so
still early. But
I think seeing
the more we talk about it being early, it's getting later for Heupel.
Oh, absolutely.
And the specter of OU out there.
Of course. So I think getting in baseball, it was fun to see. It was good to see, and so maybe they can take some of that and give it a little here, a little there to basketball, football. Maybe get some momentum going, and maybe can get everything rocking.
It was impressive that they joined Miami as number 1 seed overall to win it all. First time in 25 years.
And that's why when we were talking in the last segment about, the which one gets the right champion, I think that's where you got to say no, because I think if it was not, I don't want to see every time that number 1 team winning it. But
no, I don't want status quo.
No,
I like upset.
I want to see more than 2. I think if you're saying this is the champion, this was the best team, that number 1 should win more often than just 2 times.
I don't want to fall out with anybody, but I think I can make a hearty case. Darian mentioned the 6 games in March and April.
Sure.
I go back again. If you're one of those power teams, that first weekend is a layup.
Sure.
Then you might get the benefit, might not too, but you might get the benefit of one of the zany Thursday, Friday upsets for your that next weekend Sweet 16 game.
Sure.
Then it gets down to the narrow rows. It gets really tough. But more times than not in college basketball, the power team is the one that wins it.
Sure.
We love that Thursday and Friday for the St. Peter's and the St. Joe's and the St. Bonaventures and the UMBCs. They never make much noise past that.
Yeah.
An occasional
George Washington.
George Mason.
George Mason. Yeah,
occasional George Mason, Darian. And I was in D.C. that year that they came out of that region, and it was unreal.
Sure.
It felt great. The Florida Gators were sitting there going, Oh, good.
That's right.
We get George Mason instead of Rudy Gay in UConn.
Oh, of course.
Thank you.
Of course.
And you got a week to sit and think about it. And,
Sure.
and that Cinderella type team, when they sit there a week and think of it, and they get to that Final Four city, Loyola
Sure.
in San Antonio, I was there for that. They get to that open practice on Friday,
Oh, yeah.
and they walk out there, and there's 60,000 people there.
Oh, yeah.
And that shooting depth perception is different than the gym back at Butler,
Oh, much
back
different.
at Hinkle Fieldhouse,
Much
or
different.
back at Virginia Commons.
That's right.
Or all these darlings that we've had, Butler got real close.
Yeah.
That's just good for horseshoes and hand grenades.
That's right.
Yeah, I know it was close on the shot at the buzzer against Duke,
Yeah.
but it didn't go in.
That's right.
There's never been that darling that's won it all. Don't give me Villanova in '85. They played Georgetown close all year in the regular season, and then hit that historic hot night against them in Lexington.
Sure. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, we love the
And they've won it 2 or 3 times
That's right.
since.
No, Villanova
At least 2.
has good history since then. No, I mean, I think when you talk about the college basketball tournament, yeah, those first 2 days we love trying to root for the underdogs, but you know, most likely it's those big time teams, it's the better teams that advance and get through it, and then it's you get down to the Sweet 16, the Elite 8, and it's the elite teams that are left, and that's really when it, gets interesting.
Over the last 50 years for you guys, is it hard to believe that Tennessee football's only won it once? Fulmer in '98. The idea that Johnny Majors never won at Tennessee is hard to believe to me.
Yeah, that is hard to believe. I would say a little bit, sure.
And I can make the case that Fulmer was not appreciated enough for that one he got them, and tried to on these airwaves that Tennessee you're headed down a bad track.
Sure.
You're getting ready to start chewing through coaches.
Oh, yeah.
And they did. Now they didn't know Lane was going to leave after 1 year when his dream job USC came open.
Yeah. But it's been.
But look at all the coaches.
Yeah, I was about to say it's been some dicey years.
And Tennessee had not had that historically. I mean,
Right.
they went a long time of Dickey, Battle, Majors, Fulmer.
No, you're right, and then it was a while where there was a lot of coach turnover, and now feels like they're in a good spot right now. And
Which one, Heupel or Barnes? Who gets it? If either gets it next,
Barnes,
I think Heupel.
really,
I do. Barnes didn't get it last year. Scares me to death.
that's true.
I mean, when you got that guy,
Yeah.
that special guy,
Sure.
that almost any other year he would be national player. Well, he was national player a year in some.
Yeah, he was.
Edie in most,
Sure.
right?
Yeah. No, Edie won the actual
Yeah.
award, but there were a
the
lot
one,
of
the AP, the big one.
Yeah, the big one. But no, you're right. I mean, it's hard when you have that guy. But I guess I should.
I mean, Barnes
change.
scares me at tourney time.
Sure. But I always got to remind myself that
He won one game with a guy named KD
well yeah,
at Texas.
Yeah. But I got to keep reminding myself that we're in the 12-team era now because it's a
That's
lot
right.
different. Because I think looking at it,
Nobody knows.
yeah. But I think looking at it in terms of a coach getting into the NCAA tournament, having a good team, playing well and winning it versus you got to be at the top 4 teams is much different from top 12 teams when you're a team like Tennessee, I think. And so I think now it's a lot closer when you put that there's going to be the 12-team playoff.
Right. I like the idea that I love the 12-team playoff and what it would do for so many for so many college football historians.
Sure.
You don't have to know about Crazy Legs Hirsch and Alan Amici because it's not germane
Sure.
to anything going forward.
Right.
I said that when the Grizzlies moved here, and it did. The Grizzlies moving here, it takes everybody to the same starter line and ultimately to the finish line on knowing and covering the NBA.
Yeah.
And now with this 12-team playoff in college football, everybody kind of is recalibrated.
Sure.
The college football heads, the historians, whether it's me or not, it doesn't matter anymore that you knew about Coach Bryant and Coach Dye.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you talk about that recalibrating and trying to pretty much
I think that's
relearn
exciting.
everything. I mean, Brett, I remember a couple months ago when we were trying to put together our first way too early college football playoffs, and we're sitting here together trying to look around, trying to figure out who gets which spots. And you go to ESPN, and theirs is one way. You go to CBS Sports, theirs is a completely different way. You go to The Athletic, it's a completely different way than the other two. Nobody knows how it's going to go, and for a while there, even the format, what it was going to be. And so now we at least have the format, but you're right, we're having to learn what's this format going to look like, how's it going to play out, how's it going to work for the regular season, how's it going to work, because I forgot who we were talking to a couple weeks ago, and they brought up the point of, what do you do when you've got a team in the conference championship game that is won out by tiebreakers, and they end up losing that conference championship, but they were good enough to go to the conference championship, but since they lost, does that mean they're not good enough to go to the college football playoffs? It's going to be a lot of new and a lot of learning of how this is going to work.
And so how will Tennessee fit in that?
Yeah.
Old way, Tennessee most often would fit pretty well.
Yeah.
Especially when they were good.
Certainly.
But this new way in college football, when we get to that weekend on campus, that one game on Friday night and the 3 that Saturday, quite literally nobody can say, well, the last time I covered it. Nobody has.
No,
this is Greek to everyone.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I mean, just back to the start
it won't
of
be,
the show.
Brian, guess where I was that day?
No,
you weren't at a college playoff game on a campus.
And we were just talking about at the beginning of the show, and we were kind of talking about the differences between the college baseball tournament and college football and college basketball. And I said, well, most of those games for college football are neutral site, bowl game sites, whatever. Well, now this year it's going to be different. You're going to have home field advantage for that first round. And I think it's extremely exciting.
And then 10 days later, 10 days to 11 days later, you're going to have those 4 teams that won play fully rested teams.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
In a quick turnaround.
Very quick. It's going to be different.
And the specter of this happening is very real. Maybe not just that hard opt out. Just not doing it.
Yeah.
Draft coming up. But that player that plays and wins on campus, maybe takes that helmet shot right to the thigh.
Yeah.
Big old bruise for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't think I need to play in that next round.
Yeah.
Because I am getting ready to go to the draft.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I think there's a little bit of that to it, too, of, that first game, if you're playing at home in front of your fans, I might play that game, but like you said, if you win that game and go to the next one.
I'm at the Fiesta Bowl.
Yeah, maybe
set
not.
this one out.
Yeah, I need to. And that's going
to happen.
That's going to be really interesting to watch because I think the idea is, okay, if these are games to try to get to the national championship and you're still in the running for the national championship, there are going to be guys aren't going to want to opt out because it's going for that big one. I think it's going to be interesting to watch how the opt-outs play out when we get to actual playoff teams.
Don't you think going forward in sports that we need a 24-hour camera on every movement of Jeff Kent?
Well,
did we get enough of Jeff Kent?
Well, Brett, I think we were getting close to that last night. It felt like it was the only notable A&M fan in attendance.
I couldn't stand him with the Giants.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, for Tennessee, you had Peyton and Rick Barnes and Morgan Wallen, and I think Heupel was there, too.
Help me with Morgan Wallen.
A massive country music singer. I mean, massive.
Is he the guy that sold out Oxford?
Yes, a couple times. And then he was the one that had to cancel because of he had throat.
Cocktail flu.
Exactly.
It won't kill you. You just think it will.
No, you just think it will. That's right.
The sun setting the next day make you feel a lot better.
Of course. But yes, that is the Morgan Wallen. He's massive.
He is
massive. I mean,
you got any music of his?
I don't. I
country.
He's pop country, very much so. All my friends love him. Melinda loves him. I mean, he's mad. I would say he's Darian top 5 singer, not just country music, just singer in general. Yeah, I think probably maybe even top 3 right now. I mean, he's a big deal. So he was there rocking out with the Rocky Tops. So.
Good for him. Is that his team?
Yeah, it's his team. Yeah, so he's from Tennessee. I don't know exactly where in Tennessee, but
I think he's a Nashville guy.
Oh, yeah, I know he lives in Nashville now. I
thought the country music star that was Tennessee's team was who's Peyton's buddy? That does some of the TV ads.
That's I don't even want to answer. Someone in the text line texted because I'll be honest, Brett. I don't listen to that type of country music.
I don't either. I'm sorry. I don't.
I think I just call them all Jason Aldean. It might be Jason Aldean. I just refer to every country music singer as Jason Aldean.
And this is no shot at them. I would not know Jason Aldean and Morgan Wallen if they walked in here right now and slugged me.
Yeah, I would know. I wouldn't know Jason Aldean. I would know Morgan Wallen. I would definitely know Morgan Wallen. But yeah.
Who is the country star I'm trying to think of? Kenny Chesney.
Is Kenny Chesney in the commercials with them? I think that's somebody else in the commercials.
Oh, is it?
I think so. But him and Kenny Chesney are
But
close.
Kenny Chesney's big UT guy.
Oh, yeah. Kenny Chesney.
I know he narrated and had a big part in the 30 for 30 on Conrad's Holloway.
Yeah. No, they're super tight. But I don't think that's him in the. I'm going to look it up.
You're thinking of the guy in the Nationwide ads.
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking Nationwide. We're thinking of different ads.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I don't know who that is either.
I don't know.
I mean, he might walk in and say he's Morgan Wallen. I would believe him.
Brad Paisley.
Brad
there
Paisley.
we go.
Okay.
Thank you, Texter.
Thank you, Texter.
Jason Aldean.
I just don't. That's not my genre.
Morgan Wallen's from Knoxville. Yeah, I thought he was from around there. He's massive.
I don't read fiction books.
Yeah, no. I do. I love fiction books.
I'm all not. I live in Realville.
That's
I like
right.
truth.
That's right. Well, let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back tomorrow night, the NBA draft. We'll talk all about it. Some interesting news about the top of the draft, maybe where the Grizzlies could land. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Sometimes we're so focused on telling you all the great things about Sunrise on Jefferson and Sunrise on Poplar other than breakfast, we forget to remind you that the thing Sunrise does best is breakfast. Breakfast sandwiches on the signature house-made square biscuit, like the usual with bacon, egg, and cheddar, the rooster with fried chicken, house-made pickles, and Tabasco honey, or the plates of French toast or avocado toast, or the huge variety of bowls only available at Sunrise. There's simply no better place for breakfast in Memphis. Well, actually 2. There are 2 better places.
To shop at Genesis Times. Lowest interest rates on the play. 0 interest for 5 years with nothing down. The time is running out. You have until this Sunday to do this. How about a $6,000 GIA
Summertime's finally here, and that means it's time to party. Lucky for you, Family Leisure is having a summertime to party sale. Now, what's all included in this party sale? Practically everything. 24-foot above ground pools for as little as $19.99. All ladders, filter systems, and even robotic cleaners are 20% off. Come in and look at all of the in-stock patio furniture Family Leisure has. Plus, it's up to 50% off. Play gyms for the kids, that's $1,000 off. Patio umbrellas, take 20% off. You can get a 4-person hot tub for just under $3,000. We know you're really going to just use it for yourself. Family Leisure has discounted pricing on all in-stock pool toys and floats while the supplies last, so you better get in quick. Plus, Family Leisure has special financing available. Just ask an associate for all the details. Summertime means party time, and Family Leisure is ready for any party. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun all come together.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in-front-of-the-wall full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. And in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is
Welcome back into Sports Time. We're only a day away from the NBA draft, day one of the NBA draft. A lot of intrigue about what the Grizzlies will do. Will they stay at 9? Will they move up? Will they move down? Only time will tell. But I think it's going to be interesting, not only what the Grizzlies do, but kind of at the top of that draft. What happens with that top 5, top 6, and if the Grizzlies try to jump in, because it looks like there are a lot of suitors out there that want to try to get into that top 5.
I really don't want to go too over the top on most important draft in Grizzlies history. It's not. It's not even the most anticipated one. The earlier ones, when everything was so new, and we've had some since then. But this is one we've had the date circled for a long time because we knew the team's fate this year. We knew we were going to be in that draft from January on. My question is this. The WizKid front office, do they need wizardry tomorrow night?
Brett, you can maybe almost argue that anybody in this draft needs wizardry with the kind of it's not a great draft, I'll be honest.
I don't think it's terrible, though.
It's not terrible, but it's certainly, like, if you had asked me, you can be...
Is it not a great draft, or is it unknown because of the international players?
Well, I definitely think it's some of that, and that's kind of something I've been arguing the entire time, is nobody's watching Alex Sarr in New Zealand.
And we're not watching Ron Holland.
No. And so...
But we're watching UConn.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
And without that run, we wouldn't know Stephen Castle from Ron Holland.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. But I do think this is a little bit of a weaker draft just because it doesn't feel like there's anybody like surefire in this draft. And I think people feel good about Alex Sarr.
Ooh, do we want to guess a Hall of Famer after round one like we do the NFL?
Why not, honestly? Let's do it. At that point, we'll be doing Thursday. We'll be sitting in here doing breaking down picks live as they happen in round 2.
Now, was it always planned to be in the afternoon, or did it just adjust because of the debate?
I don't know, and that we didn't even think about that. And John Harden earlier today was like, I bet they're having it in the afternoon because the debate. And we're like, oh, that's probably exactly why they're having it in the afternoon.
Yeah, and it going wall to wall on everything from about 4 o'clock on.
Yeah, so
Thursday.
Probably. I don't know if that's the exact reason, but it's certainly one of them.
Well, I don't think there's any Hall of Famers coming out of Thursday.
No, definitely not. But there will be some. I mean,
if you do, you got really lucky.
Sure, but there's definitely none you can guess on the day after the draft. Round 1 you can, but day 2, no chance.
I love the idea of Klingon. I'm okay with the idea of Zach Edey.
Thank you.
For the Grizzlies.
That's the low-hanging fruit to me. You just stated all the players that we did not see. We saw Zach Edey for 2 years. You saw him grow. You saw him become a 25-point-per-game player. It is such low-hanging fruit. It is such low-hanging fruit to me. That's the reason. It's such low-hanging fruit, and 9 is not the highest price to pay for him. Very high for me.
And if you like him, take him.
Take him. Yeah. Take him. And plus, Jaren Jackson has always been well off with a bully, for lack of better words, next to him. Yeah. He just had 2. Valanciunas. He did well with.
Should I quadruple down?
Please.
By all means.
Can't teach 7-4.
You can't teach it. You can't teach it. Now, I'm not looking for him to give you 30 minutes a game. All he needs to give you is 15, 20 minutes a game, if that's what he's able to do.
And if you get Edey, there's going to be a lot of days we come in here and the night before the box score is going to be gross. It's going to be 1 point, 9 minutes, and 4 fouls, and the game was just too fast for him.
But I think you added 4 blocks with those 9 minutes.
And then we're
3 to 4 blocks with those 9 minutes.
We're going to come in here a lot of days, 11, 9, 4, etc. 4 blocks, a couple assists or 2. Boy, you're not sold at all.
No, I don't want.
I don't think the success is based on what he does. The success is based on what Jaren does. It's meant to free up Jaren. This is not about a 20-point-per-game center. It's not.
Well said.
It's not. That's what you have Santi for. That's what you have Clark for, to close your games. This is not.
We're not asking him.
I'm not asking him.
We're not asking him to be.
I'm not asking him.
Cornerstone.
I'm asking him to win the tip. No, you don't lose a tip. That's the first thing I need. Don't lose a tip. That's the first thing. And other than that, give me 10 and 7 with 3 blocks. 2.5.
I take 10 and 7 next April 15th over 71 games played in a second.
I like this position I'm in right now, where I can just listen to what y'all are throwing out there.
You're just giving us more rope.
Yeah. Here's what I want them to do. I want them to go out at number 9 and draft whoever. Ron Holland I'd be great with. If Matas Buzelis slides down, take him. Take one of these guys that or Dalton Connect, if he's there, take him. A guy that can come off the bench for you, give you some production. That's what I want. Second round, draft a center. Take one of these project centers, and then once free agency starts, get one of these middle-of-the-road big
National Player
men.
of the Year a project?
No, I'm not saying he's a project.
Okay.
I'm saying I don't want them to draft him because I want them to draft a project. I want them to go out and get somebody from free agency to be your kind of big man for next year. But we'll see. It's going to be fun. We need to get to a break. When we come back, we're talking college football with Brent Beard.
Wilson's Pro Wash. Your house, fence, driveway, warehouse, store, hotel, even cars and trucks can all be squeaky clean and beautiful after pressure washing by Wilson's Pro Wash. Wilson's specializes in cleaning all hard surfaces, concrete, stone, brick, and mortar, even wood and vinyl siding. Then Wilson's can seal their surfaces so they stay looking brand new. Call Wilson's Pro Wash, 1-524-6799, or online at wilsonsprowash.com.
Simple, smooth, and every sip as easy as the last. Tito's handmade vodka tastes just as good with tap water as it does your favorite mixers. Back in the day, Tito distilled, hand-bottled, taste-tested, sent out to a few friends, then taste-tested again to give you the finest juice around. No frills, no flavors, no fancy labels, just the good stuff, just Tito's. For recipes, videos, and more, visit Tito'sVodka.com. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, mainly 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-761-0000, 800-761-0000, 800-761-0000.
It's time to ride during the Gossett Mitsubishi Motors Summer Sales Event. Check out 43 MPG Highway in a new 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage, $17,935 or $249 a month. Need extra room for your vacation? Let Gossett make it happen with 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander, $30,490 or $449 per month. And go for miles and miles with 420 total range in 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, $599 a month. Plus peace of mind with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike and 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com.
If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars.
Military rebate, 500 royalty rebate. Mirage Outlander 84 months. Mirage RHO 10934. MSRP 18435. Outlander RZO 55981. MSRP 31490. PHEV RZO 35245. MSRP 48065. Includes 1095 acquisition fee. Sale price includes all rebates and incentives. Excludes processing fee of $695. Lease terms includes processing fee of $695. 15 cents per mile excess wear and tear. With approved credit, see dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Summer's heating up, and so are the savings at Choate's. We've got 3 incredible offers to make your season spectacular. First up, our Grill and Chill with Choate's Summer Special. Upgrade your HVAC system and choose between a free Yeti cooler or a Green Egg grill on select systems. Then power through any outage with Choate's generators. Be one of the first 50 customers to buy a generator and score a massive 75-inch TV or an iPad. Also, don't forget about our tankless water heater offer. Purchase a tankless water heater from Choate's and receive a premium toilet free. Don't wait. These offers are too good to last. Turn to the experts with Choate's and call 347-8086 or visit us online today for your free estimate. Now introducing Choate's air conditioning, heating, plumbing, and generators. Choate's, let our family serve your family.
Ole Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM. Your Mid-South sports station.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises. Just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it. Because you're not just taking the bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com. So whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar in Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Highland Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Admit it. When you start thinking about tastes of Memphis, you think treats, sweets. You think Dinstall's. For 122 years now. What is that, 5 generations? When people wanted something to bring to a party that will just make everybody happy, they bring out Dinstall's. 122 years of cashew crunch, of heavenly hash, of turtlettes, of their award-winning fudge. That's worldwide. It's known that well. Then there's the milk chocolate. It all starts there. There's the double-dip peanuts. And then every fall, those famous chocolate-covered strawberries with that fondant. And they won't tell you what's in the fondant, but it makes it oh so special. And easy to get to. 5 locations. There's where they make the candies in Pleasant View. There's Germantown. There's Collierville. There's even one downtown and in my neck of the woods in Laurelwood. You know what? 122 years made in Memphis and enjoyed by the whole world. Dinstall's.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Starting out a couple of earlier accidents. A little bit busy in a couple of spots already out here through the Midtown area on 240 going southbound here at South Parkway. Nothing like it was the last couple of weeks because it has improved actually since they've opened up the 55 bridge. Traffic is heavy over here on 240 east working your way past Bill Morris Parkway up towards Poplar. Weimer's Jewelry located 7525 Highway 64 is your full service family owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
College football talk every Tuesday with Brent Beard, Heisman voter, and on Twitter X at Brent Beard. SEC, ACC, AAC, we talk it all with Brent. Here's Brent Beard with Bryant and Brent.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you in our Family Leisure Studios, and we've got college football to talk about with Brent, who joins us like all our guests do on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line, but also got to talk some college baseball with him with Tennessee winning it all last night. Brent, thanks so much for joining us. Want to start off with that game last night, Tennessee and Texas A&M. What'd you make of Tennessee's run and them winning it all last night in Omaha?
Well, guys, it was just an unbelievable run for Tennessee. I mean, to win 60 games, that's the thing that I think impressed me as much as it was anything else. That is really hard to do. Lord, imagine your fans being happy 60 times a year.
There are big league
really
teams that won't win 60.
No.
But I tell you what, though, I give A&M a lot of credit. I mean, to have the injuries they had, and yet still able to guys to be in there, to be in the championship game, and they were about what one more hit away, very possibly from tying that thing or even more.
Well, they packed away and made it really nervous for Tennessee, but Tennessee able to hang on. I asked Bryant this earlier. I want your input. Who's the next team from the SEC to win it? We kind of pass it around. Who gets theirs? Whose turn?
And unlike football, there are no real repeat performances, are they? I mean, the local team here with the Gators, they've done a lot of work in the off season so far. Kevin O'Sullivan's made a lot of changes. He has brought in. I know it's Samford, but the reality is, guys, you see this in football too. Even in the small schools, these guys can play.
But Florida's won one. Who wins one that hadn't never won one?
Well,
Bama's getting closer.
Yeah,
Kentucky was
better.
real close. I said the runner-up last night, Brent.
Yeah,
A&M.
probably. Yeah. I think that's. I can't disagree with that pick. I think that's as good as any, frankly, and especially if Slaw stays. I mean, I think I haven't heard anything different unless you guys have.
Texas, they're not stealing him. Now, that was not coincidental. Texas yesterday firing and needing a coach on the day of A&M's biggest moment.
The
petty
really
never ends with those two.
They really love to time it that way, didn't they?
Well, we do the petty very well in college sports, and particularly in the SEC, and those two have it down.
They've got it down to an art. There's absolutely no question about that. And then you've got, as you guys remember, you've got Jimbo Fisher at the podium at SEC Media Days, and oh my, it just so happens to get out that Texas and Oklahoma are joining the SEC.
What a coincidence!
Again,
what a coincidence!
Yeah, it was just amazing, wasn't it, guys?
It was, and Brent, we were there. Okay, so for Tennessee, we've talked about this as well. We'll ask you, who's next, Barnes or Heupel? Who gets their championship?
I would say Barnes. I think they've still got a ways to go.
Man, I'm the lone Heupel voter.
You're on an island, Brett.
Yeah. I really do. I think. I've even heard Tennessee.
And help me with this. How many times has Barnes really been close?
Well, I agree with that.
Okay.
I agree with that and understand that.
Now, Heupel's still a young head coach.
He is.
Well, Tennessee football coaches don't miss any meals, do they?
Oh, no. No. But I mean, I've even heard fall beat writers say they thought that Tennessee was still easily a year or two away in what they really needed to be.
And for Texas A&M, Brent, I have said Oregon and Texas A&M have spent more booster money not to have any additions to the trophy case of anybody out there in college sports.
They really have. I agree.
Now, Oregon did go to a Final Four with Dylan Brooks.
Yeah.
Right. Well, now there's a lot of excitement about Oregon football right now, as far as being in the.
They're mentioned in that nuclear club.
Oh yeah. So, I mean, I could see a little bit of that happening, and again, the playoff is changing the way we're thinking about things. So, you get in there, you get hot. Who knows what might happen?
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Getting over some college football news, Friday it was, Brent Venables gets a contract extension at Oklahoma as they get ready to enter the SEC.
You know, there was 7 or 8 people going after him to hire him.
That's right. Oh, everybody, every team in the country. What did you make of that, Brent? It felt a little premature.
Yeah, as Brent said, I lost count, didn't you?
Yeah, I stopped at 0.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's. I mean, you know, at least it wasn't one of these lifetime things, I guess. But I was surprised at that. I mean,
6 years is close to a life in coaching.
But at least it wasn't one of those 10-year deals. But you're right. That's a lot longer time than we look. No, look, guys, that surprised me too. I really didn't expect that. But I mean, if there were, as we said, if there were a lot of people coming after him, I would understand it. But there just simply weren't. So, and you know, maybe that's his welcome to the SEC award. I'm not sure.
Wish I could get a welcome to the SEC.
Nice bonus. Pays well. Really? Joe Castiglione, let's go out there and negotiate against ourselves.
It's a mess.
You know, by the way, and maybe Texas will do something, but Oklahoma is going to really have a grandiose July 1st as far as their welcome into the SEC. They've got a big party on campus and events and things of that nature. I'm not sure what Texas is going to do, if they're going to do anything. Frankly, guys, did you catch the fact that the Longhorn Network is going to be streaming this year?
Oh yeah, can't let that die.
Where is the Longhorn Network?
It's streaming.
I've never caught it. They bring my cable bill in on a forklift, and I've never had the Longhorn Network, Brent.
No, hey.
I'm out here, the guy backing up down the street, bringing it in.
Yeah, and you're taking out a loan about every other month in order to get it done. But,
practically.
Yeah, I get that. But
we were talking earlier about the excitement for this college football season. And, Brent, I know I can definitely be accused of saying every single year of my life, this is my favorite year ever and the most exciting year ever, and I can't wait for this year. But I think I do it with more gusto this year than ever have, with the addition of Texas and OU to the SEC, but also this playoff, picking all these teams week to week. Do you think the Tuesday night display, Reese Davis hosting for ESPN, do you think that should start earlier than it's been being rolled out, or right about that time, second Tuesday or so, maybe third in November?
I think it's about right. If it's any earlier than that, well, we're going to get the proverbial, well, it's just too early and the polls don't matter and things of that.
But they will be mattering.
Yeah. Well, that one certainly does and certainly will. I'll be fascinated to see where that's going to go. I mean, I wouldn't have any trouble with it starting about the same time that it does. But I've said this for a while, that it's going to turn November, on its ear, as far as the possible excitement that we're going to get from that.
It ain't going to hurt September and October.
No, it's sure not either. Just to get folks excited about the possibility, whether there's a real chance or not. Guys, it's not just those 12 teams in there. It's going to be about 20 or 25 who are going to be thinking, if something falls right, we could get in this thing.
And you're going to be in Jacksonville, sitting in the eye of the storm, not far from Hunker Down with the Dogs. You're going to have Florida State. You're going to have Central Florida thinking about winning the Big 12. You're going to have South Florida thinking about coming out of that AAC spot, and we don't want that here. And you're going to have the U that's always back, but they're really never not quite back.
Well, they are excited about the U. I mean, Cam Ward has revved things up a bit with they've finally got a quarterback and rest a pro at wide receiver, and Jalen Rivers on the offensive line. I mean, they think they're going to be better. But look, guys, the problem still, and you see it in the magazines too. Phil Steele's got them around 10th, but we would have to see it to believe it around here. As Brett said, that there have been too many. The U's back this year when the U has not been close to that. But certainly there's a lot more excitement than there's been in a while.
How many teams can win the ACC?
What you're seeing right now is Florida State, Miami, and I'm still not frankly convinced of that at this point either. And I mean, Clemson, I think you would have to say, I still think Louisville, when they really get that, though, the roster they want, that they can have a lot to say about that. And NC State, I think Dave Dorn's done a nice job there.
It always takes a while to get to NC State, though, doesn't it?
It does, and which is evidenced by that. And look, guys, there are more people think SMU is going to be in the upper echelon before, say, North Carolina or some of these other teams do. But Brett, I would say FSU, Clemson, Miami is what you're going to see early on.
And Stanford, just everybody's 17th team. 17 in the ACC.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's crazy.
Now, Duke's 14th, which is, I mean, they're used to that to some degree, but they have done a bit better.
Pitt's 13 after their coach last year said all his players were terrible and they could transfer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, but again, I really do believe this is Florida State's last year in the ACC.
Wow. Brent, you mentioned SMU in there as kind of maybe a dark horse that people are starting to fall in love with. And I see Brett has his magazines out. Flipping through my magazines over the weekend.
Athlon's great.
Athlon's unbelievable. But it's hard to get to SMU being in the ACC. You flip to that page and you go, what's this doing here? Wrong section there, Athlon.
What a story. I mean, from death penalty date to Tobacco Road.
It's incredible. But, Brent, you mentioned that some people think they could be maybe a dark horse candidate to finish towards the top of the ACC. They've certainly got the money down there. It's shown with the transfers they've brought in, recruiting that they've been doing. What does year one really look like for them in the ACC?
Well, I mean, it's going to be an adjustment period. I mean, but basically everywhere you see, now Athlon's got them at 7, and now Phil Steele's got them at 4.
Holy cow.
Now, he's also got Virginia Tech at 4. In Louisville at 4. Now,
that's a lot of teams at 4.
Well, listen, guys. Y'all know Phil Steele does some things differently, shall we say? But when you're doing your magazine, you can do that, can't you?
I guess so.
I think what that tells us is does it not that he's got Clemson, FSU, Miami all won. That means anybody could win it. And then I think with all these 4s, it's probably the same thing. Any of these teams could be up there. You hear Virginia Tech a little more pronounced this year than we have in a while. My stars if you're looking at teams in the ACC that have just fallen off the map and really not been seen in a long time, that it would have to be Virginia Tech. Obviously with Beamer and somewhat with Fuentes, but they've had a long way to climb up the wall.
Mm-hmm. They definitely have. I'm just seeing this come out from NCAA PR. D1 Council introduces proposals to change transfer windows in basketball and football from 45 to 30 days. Vote expected to occur in October. Do you think that's a good idea, maybe limiting it from the 45 to 30? It said data shows that most people enter within the first 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Is that something you think? I mean, we always hear people saying we got to do something about the transfer portal. Do you think that's at least a first step in the direction of maybe getting things under control, or not really?
I don't know. I mean, they've tried to reduce it from time to time and just kind of make it 2 weeks.
Yeah.
In the winter and then 2 weeks in the spring. We know the winter is the one that means more.
Mm-hmm.
than any others right now. I'm still not sure, guys, that until we get more, I hate to say this, but it's just the truth, NFL like in college football, that a lot of that's going to change. But
yeah, we are.
But no, I'm if it's shorter for roster management and the thing, and just for our sanity and trying to keep up with it, I wouldn't argue with that.
And I want to note that Virginia Tech, with a very popular local angle with their defensive coordinator, Chris Marv, played high school at White Station and was a great player at Vanderbilt.
Good point.
And
yeah.
really good guy, and one of the great mornings ever at SEC Media Days. So Larry Leathers at Vanderbilt, I know you knew well, Brent. Excuse me. He brings by Chris and George Lapidus. His high school was White Station, and Chris Marv and George Lapidus on live radio belt out on White Station, the White Station fight song on these airwaves.
I hope somebody recorded that.
We got it somewhere.
That's great.
Good. Well, and since Brian brought that up, I think that the other things going on this week, and there are a lot of meetings within commissioners and the D1 Council and things like that, or the college football, really the haves truly breaking away from the have-nots, meaning you've got SEC, ACC, Big 12, and Big 10. In reality, it's really only the
in
SEC,
current form, or
Big
cherry
10.
picking a few more before they break away.
Yeah. Good point. That you really see more of the division in the other 28 Division I commissioners are not quite happy about that, to say the least. But that's where we're going. And then you're seeing, I think the other thing going on, the staffs will be able to be on the field or where the coach wants.
No limit, big as they
no
want.
limit. And then the sponsorship things is where they're talking about guessing all the money it's going to come through with that. But Brian, I can tell you this: your cohort there told me early on that there is going to be a true division between the haves and have-nots, and it's coming sooner than later. And his point is the same thing as mine. Is do you really want North Carolina AT&T telling North Carolina or Alabama or Georgia what to do?
I can go better than that. I can go Kennesaw State. And I said it when it started around 95, 96. Yeah. Everybody trying to get into FBS. It's not made for everybody.
No, it's not.
Frankly, it's not made for Charlotte. It's not made for FIU. May not be made for FAU. And these teams are trying to be something that they're not. I never one time alluded to the Memphis Tigers not belonging in the top tier of college football. It has been all my life from Coach Murphy on. It's been there. I want it to remain in that, and that's why I want to know what that number of what we're calling the haves. What is it going to be? Yeah. Is it 60? Is it 70? Is it 80? I can't see it being more than 80.
No.
And I think Memphis is firmly in at 80.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes.
Old Dominion has no business being in FBS or the halves.
They don't. And telling the upper Division I schools what to do. But guys, the reality of this thing, and I'm not saying it will, but if Florida State leaves, Clemson leaves, I'm not saying the ACC is going to end up being the Big 12, or the Pac-12, which is now the Pac-2. But it really does make you wonder. But I mean, there's still a lot of speculation that the SEC and the Big 10 may end up breaking off themselves one day. They're all.
And I don't want that.
No, I really don't either. I agree with that.
It's a little bit like out there in our society right now. Yeah, there's always going to be an upper class. Sadly, there's always going to be, somebody struggling. We need a vibrant middle class.
Yeah, we do badly.
We're losing that in society, and we're losing it in college sports.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree with that.
But I turned to Sam Houston. Sam Houston had it down playing FCS. And I know right now somebody's going, well, who are you to say who should belong and who shouldn't? Well, here's what says it. When you draw about 12,000 at a home game against Kennesaw State.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well.
I don't know what league you're in, but that's not the top league.
No. Well, and here's the other side of this that really I think makes some logic in that at some point the teams that Brett is talking about, Bryant, really need to come together and quit depending upon getting the crumbs off the table from the big boys and end up working together and forming their own. Now, look, is it going to be the big TV contracts and the big stadiums and things like that? No, but look, they're viable schools. They're important. They have a place. And if they could, and at some point, if they're on their own, maybe, and Brett and I've talked about this for about 3 decades, is there a possibility then that they could work together enough to have their own TV contract and that they could, and they would draw interest from college football fans and be able to do their own thing and be creative about it? We might be surprised.
And we also could be shocked with this. It may not be a reaction to it, and they may not get any traction, and then the market has spoken. And sometimes the market says no.
Sometimes it does. That's right. But they at some level, these other schools that we're talking about will find their place.
The proliferation into FBS, it hurt the Tigers, and that was the point I tried to make then, because Memphis used to go into Alabama and get players that now's going to UAB. They're going to Troy. And that had a negative effect on Memphis football for a while.
Yeah. Well, and in the process, Troy, for instance, frankly, having some really pretty decent teams.
Well, they sure have.
Over the last few years.
Can they keep it going with John Summerall going to Tulane?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's going to be interesting.
It is.
But y'all both bring up great points about both sides of it, I think. And it'll be fun to see how it all plays out. But as always, Brent, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll do it again next Tuesday.
Good. Look forward to it, guys.
Thank you, Brent.
Much.
Thanks, Brent.
Take care.
Brent Beard joining us like he does every single Tuesday.
I don't want the Big Two.
News and I don't either. I don't know many people that do want the Big Two.
And if nothing else, and I don't mean this with the connotation some may view it in, you got to have sparring partners.
Got to.
It's what I always said when people would go, kick Vanderbilt out of the league. Vanderbilt's not going anywhere.
Nowhere.
As long as Roy Kramer was running the league, they're not going anywhere.
Nah.
Mike Slive, not going anywhere. Greg Sankey, not going. They're not going anywhere.
And you're down, by the way.
And you need somebody to beat.
You do. That's right. Well, I mean, it's what we talk about with, when we're talking about all the teams in the SEC, or same thing with, the Big Ten, that could have that excitement going into the season of we can make the college football playoffs. At the end of the day, there's got to be teams that are going to be losing. And so you've got to have the Vanderbilts. You've got to have the Rutgers in the Big Ten. You've got to have those teams that are
Baylor
going to be losing. Baylor. I mean, you've got to have teams that are
Rice.
You got to have those teams.
Back around to Rice.
They never disappear, Brett, do they? They're always there. But let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, I know a lot of eyes on college baseball last night, but it was also a good night in the major league. So when we come back, we're talking baseball.
Start your day with Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10, right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it.
Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
This 4th of July, celebrate freedom with your favorite barbecue store, Memphis Barbecue Supply. Whether you're a grilling novice or a seasoned pitmaster, Memphis Barbecue Supply has everything you need to make this Independence Day unforgettable. From a wide selection of premium chip, chunk, mini logs, pellets, and logs of wood, and over 378 different rubs, sauces, injections, and glazes to choose from. Here at Memphis Barbecue Supply, we have everything but the meat. You can stop by anytime. We're open 7 days a week for your convenience. Our knowledgeable, award-winning pitmasters on staff are more than happy to assist you with any questions you have for your next cook. Memphis Barbecue Supply is located at 7041 Stage Road in Memphis, or you can order online at mbbqsupply.com. Follow us on all the social media platforms for recipes, new products, and barbecue news.
All 650 acquisition fee, Telluride RG 510849, MSRP 38305, Forte LXS RE 780 169, MSRP 21820. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax, title, and licensee. Dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 6/30/2024 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Hey, Jeff, I hear you've got the Kia Summer Sticker Sales event going on right now at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah. Give me some scoop.
Randy, the scoop is I'm ready to put you in a new Kia for less. 2024 Kia Forte LXS 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month. $34.99 do it signing. How about a 2024 Kia Telluride LX 357 a month? $39.99 do it signing, 24-month lease.
Plus 0% for 48 months on 2024 EV9. And every Gossett Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah.
Gossett Kia South, 2680 Mount Moriah, or online anytime. KiaMountMoriah.com.
Ken Garland, you are in your 72nd year of business. Your son William is now joining you. What do you think is the key to your longevity in the building business?
My dad started the business in 1965, and I think being on the job sites daily and being accessible to homeowners has been a key to our success.
You guys have a work ethic, as you like to say. You're not hiring people to be on the site. You guys are there every day.
We interact with the subcontractors multiple times a day on each job site. I think that has been a key, as well as using the same subcontractors 20 plus years in most cases.
When you talk about materials, what is the first thing you're thinking about when somebody comes to you to build a home?
We're just trying to meet the expectations of the client and the homeowner and the architect and give them what their dream is.
When you get a Ken Garland home, what do you guarantee?
We'll be there after the job is finished. We're still accessible to all our clients.
Now I need to know, how do I get a hold of Ken Garland?
You can reach us at kengarland.com.
You've heard of James Gaddis Jewelers, but have you heard what they've done lately? Everything. A tremendous selection of diamonds and jewels, gold, silver, and much more. Lots of watches, tons of custom-made jewelry, fine gemstones, bracelets, necklaces, so many choices. Romantics will love the one-of-a-kind estate and vintage jewelry. James Gaddis has experts to help you with wedding and engagement rings, plus 2 repair experts for fine watches and jewelry. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers at 4900 Poplar.
Sportstime on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Brian Davis.
Well, last night, I know a lot of eyes on Omaha with the College World Series, but it was a good night in Major League Baseball. Some fun games, including a Cardinal win, 4-3 over the Braves. Don't look now, Brett, but 40-37 Cardinals? Who would have thought?
I've learned how to pronounce his name correctly, haven't I? It's Ryan Helsley.
It's hard not to.
And
27 saves on the season.
Now, he got dramatic last night. It was not good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
It was very scary.
Rather scary, but he hadn't had many of those moments.
No.
Had a little trouble lately locating his fastball.
He has.
Gets behind in the count, and they tag him pretty good because when he comes in, I don't know how baseball does it, but when he comes in, the other team's big guys are coming up to bat.
Oh, every time.
Big guys always bat the ninth,
Of course, yeah. In Major League Baseball, flair for the dramatics. I mean, it like clockwork.
Mike Shannon would say, "Oh, Abner's done it again."
Of course, I love that. That's great. But no, that was a fun game last night. Tonight will be a lot tougher for the Cardinals. Ronaldo Lopez, who's been fantastic this season for the Braves, was a bullpen guy last year. They've called on him to be a starter this year. 1.57 ERA on the year. But you got Gibson
coming back from missing a start.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a really good pitching matchup tonight between those two teams, and should make for another good game.
It should. The Braves, a lot of injuries. They're just trying to hang on a little bit.
Yeah, they are, and I think you knew right when that Acuna injury happened that it was going to get a little rough and it wasn't going to be easy, but it's still impressive to see. I think since that injury to Ronald Acuna, more negative talk about the Braves than positive talk. Certainly more losses than before, but you still look at them 43-33 overall. That's impressive, and the way they've been doing it has been impressive. So I'm excited for tonight's game. It should be a fun one. Kind of another weird start time with a 6:45 our
How good are
time.
the Cardinals? Just asking it, kind of jaundices the question, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean I think they're a middle of the road team. I don't think they're a team that can compete. I don't think.
Do you watch Chris Russo?
Oh,
on
man.
High Heat?
I don't catch him a lot. I'm usually up here when he's on.
He's
but
so good.
He's fantastic. There are not many people when they speak about baseball I listen, and he's one of them.
He's sure one of them.
He's incredible.
And he thinks pretty big on the Cardinals this morning. He said I know I'm probably making a mistake giving them this big of an advantage, but they're going to be around at the end.
Wow, I would love that. I don't buy that
In the playoffs, not around at the LCS.
Sure. I don't know if I'm there yet.
He wanted to equivocate even midstream in it.
Wow. I would love that. I'm not there yet, but I think I could in a couple weeks.
Only 4 back of Milwaukee for the lead in the division.
That's not bad.
That's the 3 seed.
Yeah. But
you're going to be ping-ponging around 4, 5, 6, it looks like, with a lot of teams.
Yeah. And, I mean, we look how close that is.
But they at least have saved the season.
Sure. Oh, absolutely. I mean,
we were thinking wholesale.
There was a point where it was, okay, you got a decision to make
Contreras
here.
Deal Helsley.
Exactly.
That's when I didn't know how to pronounce his name. Hensley, Isley, Henley.
Deal Goldschmidt. Deal a lot of these guys.
Listen for win.
Yeah. And so now that's completely changed.
Completely.
And, it's going to be interesting to see what happens around the trade deadline. I heard Jeff Passan was on this morning in Seattle and said this is a complete seller's market, that it's going to be a lot of teams selling and maybe even some guys that you didn't think were going to be sold.
Should the Cardinals be buying? It's not a go for it.
It's not. I don't think you buy right now. But, it's the question you have to ask of.
Sit pat, squeeze into the playoffs, lose the 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
How many season tickets that sell?
And that's the thing. That's what you got to ask yourself, because
for 25.
I think there's some situations and some instances where if you sit still at the deadline, it almost hurts you more than buying or selling.
Tells your fans, why should I care if you don't care?
Exactly. So it's going to be
getting a lot of that. There were a lot of empty seats Saturday and Sunday for the Giants.
Yeah.
Now, 2 hot weather 115 games.
Oh yeah, no, those were not easy games to sit through and watch.
And the fudge factor on the Cardinals and the attendance. Now, those tickets may have been they were sold, but wasn't anybody in them. And I'm sure that season ticket number is still around big number.
Oh, I'm sure. But yeah, it's there have been a couple of games out there that
there's some fibbing going on.
No, fibbing everywhere, Brett. Who's not fibbing? Maybe the Baltimore Orioles. I don't think need to fib about their.
Why can't we just get down in sports with two numbers?
Okay.
The ticket sold,
Sure.
and how many people came through the turnstile.
Yeah.
We can count it now better than ever.
Oh, certainly.
They scan that ticket. They know where you are the whole time you're at that ballpark.
That's right.
Don't you think that?
They definitely do. I mean, the way you said it's a little conspiracy theorist, I think. It's a little scary, but
shouldn't they know their customer?
They should.
And for safety and precautions.
Sure.
You know, his guy that's supposed to be in 152, what's he ambling around in the green seats for?
Well, that's fair, you know.
Did he sneak down there? Did somebody let him come over the rail?
Yeah.
I didn't do that.
Well, you got to watch stuff, Brett.
Yeah.
You know? But that is a good point. They know where you're at all times.
I mean, we're not going through and somebody tearing the ticket stub in half and throwing
everything's on
millions
your
of
phone now.
dollars away on the ground
That's
in
true.
the torn off stubs.
That's right. No, it's all digital now. Gotta have that phone with you at all times.
You do.
It's kind of scary, but
Why wouldn't they? Wouldn't they want to know how many times did the guy in 152, row 13, seat 11, go to the concession stand?
That advanced analytics for the consumers.
Shouldn't
what are
they?
they doing? I guess so. Sure. Why not? You know, I think it could help them in ways.
Mm-hmm.
But I also don't know if I want them
What did he
watching
buy?
my every move.
What food choice did he prefer, or she?
Sure. And yeah, I mean they're already doing that with how many we started with and how many we sold. So I mean, I guess it's just more advanced on it,
and that helps them cross-checking on their inventory of how many hot dogs did we sell last night.
That's right. You're absolutely right about that. So it's interesting.
I mean, it's big business.
It's huge business. You're definitely right about that. Some interesting games last night, though, in Major League Baseball. I'm worried. Brian Wu, I don't know how many people know him, don't know him, starting pitcher for the Mariners. It feels like every time he makes a start, he gets injured. I mean, he goes out there, he gets pulled, because he was out for a long time, then came back. Oh, he's healthy, he's fine, ready to go. First start back, he gets pulled, misses a start, comes back fine. Last night, pulled again during that game. I'm worried about him in terms of health, and kind of with what you're seeing with pitchers nowadays. Of, you know, it's hard to keep those pitchers healthy, and you're seeing it around, the league of guys having to miss a lot of time with injuries.
Back to my big number yesterday. The Mariners, like a lot of teams, they don't hit a lot. Bats are quiet.
No, bats are
They're going to have to get there with the
Seattle.
pitching.
Well, and that's kind of been what has saved them. Is everybody coming into the season? It was, oh man, they've got maybe one of the best pitching staffs in all of Major League Baseball, and they've needed it because you're right. Those bats are really quiet. You look around the entire league, and that's a big time thing. I mean, I was just looking at some of these scores. I mean, last night 4-3 Cardinals and Braves, 3-2 Guardians and Orioles. Detroit Tigers put up one
My
run.
big number was apropos yesterday.
Exactly. Dodgers, White Sox. The Los Angeles Dodgers against the worst team
But that
we've seen in a while.
pitching for the White Sox, another good performance.
You're absolutely right. But even the Dodgers, this team that's supposed to be elite offensively, only 3 runs in that game. Now 9 hits, which is a lot better than 3 runs. Royals, Marlins, 4-1. I mean, you're not seeing, a lot of runs in any of these games.
Have the over and unders been adjusted according?
Definitely. Let's see what they're at today for these games, just to take a peek. Because you see a lot that's 7.5, 8. Let's see tonight. 9, 7.5, 7.5, 8.5, 9, 9.5, 8.5, 9, 9.5, 8, 9, 8, 8, 7.5, 8. That's probably the most 7.5s I've seen in a really long time, just kind of looking through. And I don't look every day.
White knuckle to get there.
Oh, certainly. And so, but you go back to last year. I'm sure, we could find last year on June 25th and look at the over-unders, and it was probably 9, 10, 11, 10.5,
Everybody with a DH.
Mm-hmm.
The end of the Mino shift.
That's right, yeah. So, it's definitely down this year for
Mino
sure.
shift was blamed for everything, wasn't
Everything.
A lot of halfway point awards being handed out and hot takes being made. Not everybody's at the halfway point, but by this time next week, most will. Some are at 81, some are at 80. You see some with as few games as 74 played.
Wow.
National League Manager of the Year to this point.
Oh, man, I don't even know. Who would yours be?
It wouldn't be Dave Roberts.
No.
You were handed all this.
Yeah.
I think it's Rob Thompson in Philadelphia.
No, it's got to be. That's a great
If
one.
it's not, it Pat Murphy in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
And I'm not making up names. That's really their manager.
Yes.
American League don't even send out the ballots. Stephen Voigt in Cleveland.
It's incredible what Cleveland's done. I mean, and what they continue to do. No. Boone.
You bought your way into October.
Yes, Boone, you cannot win another award until you do something in the postseason.
Do you think people know that Pat Murphy and Stephen Voigt are managers?
No, not at all. Not at all. You could sit there and make people guess for an hour.
And that's part of I think, the terrible devaluing of the field manager.
Sure. No,
with all the analytics people.
You're absolutely right. But I mean, with the Guardians, 50-26 on the season, they've won 6 straight games and are 7-3 in their last 10. I mean, they started hot and they have not slowed down.
On their way to 100 wins.
It's incredible, and I would have never guessed the Cleveland.
Oh, that'd be a fun postseason story.
Oh, it would be so fun because nobody had that before the season.
Seattle, Baltimore, Cleveland postseason in the AL would be a lot of fun.
I'm pulling up my AL picks real quick. Thank the Lord. I did have the Guardians winning their division, but it's also the AL
Minnesota.
Central. I mean, it was 50-50 between those two.
I never get it right.
Well, you know.
That division always gets me.
It's tough. It's always pretty hard.
I had Minnesota. And I didn't have Cleveland in the playoffs.
Really? Wow. That's interesting. Yeah, I had them winning. I did not have them making it past
My World Series is alive. Cardinals over Yankees.
Why did I even start to ask that question?
Darren, why'd you laugh?
Yeah,
Almost hurts my
Oh,
feelings.
no, the smiling. No. Look at this hat. Come on.
Okay, good.
Come on.
Check.
Almost looked at me like I was a homer.
No. Looking at my picks are not bad right now.
My AL Central. Twins 1, Guardians 2, Southsiders 3, Tigers 4, Kansas City 5.
See,
I will never forgive Kansas City for 1985. Ever.
Yeah. Mine aren't behind the Guardians. My AL Central's not great. I have the Tigers in second. So I mean, it's not. I really bought in on the Detroit Tigers before the season started. Not my smartest pick. But let's go ahead and get to a break, and when we come back, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Be sure to follow us at Sports56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports56 WHBQ.
June. It's wedding season.
It is.
Or as I like to call it, Free Central Barbecue Month.
Who's what?
Well, not that I don't enjoy weddings. I do, especially the ones that I can tell are going to be a disaster. But what I love about weddings is that so many people choose Central Barbecue to cater the food at the reception.
You root for marriages to fail?
Not exactly root. I just enjoy drama and free barbecue. I like to sit there and enjoy my plate of Central Barbecue with beans and slaw and wait for things to blow up.
At the reception.
Ideally, I mean, I won't be around to see it otherwise. Plus, Free Central Barbecue.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Jenkins Floors and More invites you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. Jenkins Floors in Little Rock, Cleveland, Mississippi, and now open in Horn Lake at 2356 West Goodman Road. Specializing in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds, Jenkins makes your life easy with a 2-week turnaround. Contractors, builders, or family projects, call 662-469-9350 for a free estimate. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to Sports 56 fans and look forward to your business.
I've got him on the line, rockin' Ronnie Smith, and Ronnie, I hear it's the Make This the Summer event going on now at Gossett Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Field.
That's right, Randy. I've got 2024 Ram 1500 Tradesman Quad Cab 4-wheel drive, $649 a month.
Man, that is awesome. What else you got, Ronnie?
2024 Jeep Gladiator Sport 4-wheel
$4,282, MSRP $48,595. Jeep RL 116172, MSRP $51,690. Charger PH 612,877, MSRP $55,110. Price includes all rebates and incentives and excludes PF 695. Payments include PF 695. All exclude tax, title, and license with approved credit. See dealer for complete details. Dealer stock only.
Hi, this is Eric Hasseltine telling you to hurry. Hurry to Genesis Diamonds right now. The clock is ticking on Genesis Diamonds' amazing finance offer. You have until Sunday to take advantage of the hottest offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing. You can get that stunning designer engagement ring starting as low as $67 a month, or a 3-carat lab-grown center diamond just $99 a month. It's the smartest, fastest, and best way to buy. But hurry, this incredible offer ends this weekend and will not be extended. Only at Genesis Diamonds at Poplar and Perkins Extended.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Sportstime on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Ryan Davis.
Big Daddy. Hello, Big Brand.
It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy. You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
Let's see. There's a couple ways I could go with my big number today, but let's go with the number 134.
You labored over that one. You had a bunch of them ready.
I had a couple ready. So we'll go with 134. Between the regular season and the playoffs, Connor McDavid of the Edmonton Oilers has 134 assists in 2023-24. It's the 10th time in NHL history a skater has recorded at least 125 assists in a single season, with the 9 others all being by Wayne Gretzky. That is incredible. And, I mean, it's back to that number of, if you take every
all the
goal away from...
He's still leading scorer.
Yeah, he's still the leading
the number
points.
one nugget from sports history,
crazy.
isn't it?
It's incredible. And so Connor McDavid now, I guess, in that conversation...
Only rivaled by Tatis 2 grand slams in the same inning off the same pitcher.
Yeah,
and it's distant.
For sure. Yeah, and that's unbelievable.
Connor McDavid, how many years in the league?
4 or 5, I think.
Who's next in hockey? We were talking about who wins it next in College World Series. Who's the hockey team? Who's next?
I think Edmonton's got a really good chance. Their goalie is really young.
A lot of breakthrough teams.
Yeah, and I mean, I think a lot of people forget Edmonton had to fire their coach early in the season.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. And so, I mean, they really struggled. And
next time we talk hockey, when will it be?
When we make our picks next year for
October.
Brett, do you know when the draft is? Wow, Connor McDavid's been in the league much longer than I thought. It's like 9 years.
I don't know the draft, but I saw opening nights October 11th.
Yeah, see,
that's like in 2 weeks, isn't it?
Yeah. They're on the same schedule as the NBA. Their draft is Friday night, so we get Stanley Cup champion last night and the draft on Friday. I mean, just like that. Which it would have been the same exact thing if the NBA had gone 7 games. It'd be such a quick turnaround. Connor McDavid drafted in 2015. He's 27. I thought he was a year or two younger than that. He's been around for a while, and he's still got a lot of gas.
I like the Kachuk family reaction last night.
Yeah, that was good. There was a lot of good reaction. Just something, and I had this conversation this morning. Something about seeing Lord Stanley Cup on a beach, everybody in swimsuits.
No frozen water anywhere.
Yeah, it just doesn't. It's
barely
weird.
had ice.
Yeah, it's different.
Drinks.
It's different. Yeah, a lot of drinks.
What's the closest frozen pond right now in North America? North Pole?
Probably, yeah.
Way up there, would it be?
Nowhere.
My big number is 26. 26 years in between national championships in football, basketball, or baseball at Tennessee. Who's next? Will Vitello repeat? Heupel before OU comes calling? Will he come calling? Rick Barnes finally win one anywhere. One Final Four ever for him.
Yeah. It's crazy.
same level of criticism at him is fair in a different way than as directed at Penny.
Oh, yeah.
You were hired to do more than you're doing.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
I don't think Heupel's gotten to that level yet. He's mostly it's in line.
Sure.
He hadn't exceeded really anything, but he hadn't had the disaster.
Yeah.
Too many early exits for Rick Barnes.
Oh, yeah.
He should fairly be criticized.
Yeah. No, you're definitely right about that.
You weren't hired to go to the tournament.
Right. You were hired to produce in the tournament. So I definitely agree with that. But good for Tennessee last night. Getting that win was fun to watch. So good for them.
I told a couple of Tennessee friends of mine I won't share this enthusiasm for you on third Saturday of October.
Right. No.
We go back to each corner.
That's right. Yes. I will not be rooting for you then.
And Tennessee had the nerve to break out cigars last night.
How about
That's
that?
not the cigar game.
How about that? No.
You've smoked one in 18 years against Bama.
Well, when's not a good time for a cigar? It's any championship.
That's not the cigar game.
No,
Wrong
no.
sport.
Far from
I
it.
don't blame them for celebrating
No,
however
not
they
at all.
wanted to.
No.
I say
Celebrate to the fullest.
I wonder how late in the night Rocky Top played in Omaha.
Still going.
Till sunup.
No,
Till
still
everybody
going.
got out of town.
No,
Yeah.
still going.
Yeah.
Certainly still going in Knoxville. I can only.
What was the
imagine
final
partying in
Rocco's
Knoxville.
count? Did anybody get one?
Let's look it up. I'm sure Rocco has a count since the final pitch from last night.
I want to go to Rocco's on a slow Tuesday night in February.
And
Well,
just
Creighton
see what
would be
it's
playing
like.
then, though, wouldn't they? When do we get a slow Rocco's night? I don't want to get in the middle of orange of Jello shot mania.
I think about a month. Like I think when you're instead of coming back from SEC Media
you go.
Days, fly up to Omaha.
That Tuesday night in August.
That's right.
What's
Let's
shaking
see.
at Rocco's?
Rocco's.
That's when I buy everybody around.
17.
All three people, Darren.
17 hours
Don't
ago.
get caught with Jello shot. Yeah.
Congratulations to Vols baseball team on winning the 2024 MCWS. Congrats to all of the awesome Vols fans for taking home Rocco's Jello Shot Challenge crown.
Doesn't the winner always win it?
Of course. They're there the longest, Brett. We've sold more shots than any year before, which means more money donated than ever before. So here's the final
Great
count.
idea.
Tennessee, 38,340.
That's half of what LSU got to last year, isn't it?
Yeah, LSU went.
I think 68,000.
Yeah. Texas A&M, which came in second, 32,645.
Geronimo Sorrows.
Wasn't even a competition between Tennessee and Texas A&M. Who was the worst? Let's see.
Who's an early exit? SEC?
ACC.
Virginia.
Yep,
Yeah,
Virginia.
I saw it.
1,711.
Yeah.
Ugh.
They got out of town.
And so did NC State, 2,791.
And everybody else that was there buying them, all the Virginia people will be your boss someday.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Wouldn't that be a great thing to go into it? You're like a Tennessee fan or something. And you're like, you know what? We've got such a big lead with this Rockets. Give me one for Virginia. Then like a couple years later, you go into an interview and you're like, oh, you went to Virginia? I bought a Jello shot.
I put my
for
American
Virginia.
Express on the line for you.
Exactly for you for Virginia, and then maybe you get
I'm
a
still
job
paying
out
it
of
off.
Yeah, that $5 Jello shot. I'm sure after the weekend you might be paying it all off still. It's some of the people, all the Jello shots they buy, but a good time nonetheless. Let's go ahead and wrap up.
When's the next time we talk about Rocco's?
Next year at the College World Series, and we'll all forget about it, and then we'll see the whiteboard and we'll go, oh yeah, that fun
Back to
thing.
the Jello count.
Exactly. Let's get to a break. When we come back, we're talking the NFL with Bo Marchant.
Guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsofMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Quirky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Getaway Sports Bar, the best kept secret in town. Open noon to 1:30 a.m. 7 days a week. Garden created this SEC NFL Dream Bar over 20 years ago. You'll never miss a minute of action. 10 TVs, 5 70-inch TVs for all the big games.
and with small seasoned potatoes.
And with all that for just $3, it really is a proper breakfast, wouldn't you say? Huh? With a light and fluffy toasted English muffin and crispy seasoned potatoes. Go on, Catherine, give it a go.
Okay. Jolly good morning.
Ah, close love. Grab a proper breakfast with Wendy's new $3 English muffin deal for a limited time.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Select and request English muffin only. Any discount not valid for a card of comparable. See line and regular price. Prices are higher in Alaska and Hawaii.
Anticipation is building for Memphis football. 3, 2, 1, that's your winner! With a cast of returning stars ready for the big stage. The momentum for Memphis football is on the rise. It's time to so purchase your tickets today at GoTigersGo.com.
Petty Country, a country music celebration of Tom Petty, bringing the top talent in country and Americana music together to create a 20-song tribute to Petty's dynamic musical legacy, including Chris Stapleton, Luke Combs, Thomas Rhett, Dirk Steadman, George Strait, Carly Pierce, Dolly Parton, Willie Nelson, Lynn Wilson, Winona, and more. Petty Country out now, sponsored by Big Machine Records.
It's the Kia Summer Sticker Sales Event, and it's going strong at Dawson Kia on the Pike. Are you ready to ride in your new Kia with 41 MPG Highway? We got it! 2024 Kia Forte LXS, $199 a month, $34.99 to a signing. How about 282 miles of EPA estimated range with new 2023 Kia EV6 Win, $249 a month. And 2024 Kia Telluride LX357 a month, both $39.99 due at signing, all 24-month lease. And get peace of mind with Kia's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Call Bobby J. He's ready to put you in your new Kia today. Gossett Kia, 1900 Covington Pike, online, KiaCovingtonPike.com. If you want it, we got it at Gossett Motor Cars. Rebates and incentives. Lease includes PF695, 650 acquisition fee, EV6 P5610964, MSRP 50,200, Telluride RG 510 849, MSRP 38305, Forte LXS RE 78169, MSRP 21820. Plus finance through Hyundai, excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 6/30/2024 with approved credit, dealer stock only.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253 DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations.
Oh, yeah. National Football League talk every Tuesday with Bo Marchant, covering the NFL Draft at collegetopro.com and the NFL Draft Bible, covering the Steelers for Sports Illustrated, living and running in Eastern Ohio, and on Twitter X at Bo Marchant. Here's Bo with Bryant and Brett.
Bo Marchant joins us now to talk the National Football League like he does every Tuesday. We also got to start making some picks a little bit later in the segment.
Can you believe
Quarterback
it?
and head coach. Crazy. You've been talking about it the last couple of weeks. Hard to believe that we're to this point.
All 8 divisions. We start today.
Oh,
that'll be the next 8 Tuesdays. Then we get into picking the AFC, then the NFC, and then Bo Marchant game week.
Crazy.
It's here. I think we were with family over the weekend, and I said something like, I guess the year's already over. They all looked at me shocked. I'm like, listen, I'm going to be in camp in a month.
Oh, yeah.
I go, camp leaves to, football leaves to Thanksgiving leaves to Christmas, and we're into the new year.
You're
And
really
so,
there now.
I know I've written off 6 months, but it goes that fast.
Sure does.
What you're attending right now, there's no hitting, right?
No. You're not even really even allowed to be on the ground. It's like flag football.
Will it be
Physical flag football.
Any hitting when you get into July camp?
Yeah, when training camp opens in Latrobe, there will be hitting. But even then, it's I don't know the exact rules under the NFLPA, but it's still light. Even the 2-a-day, they'll practice in the morning, they practice late, but there's hitting, but it's still, I think, mild. I mean, NFL veterans probably, gawk at the idea of what these players get to, the way they have to kind of go through it. We just know growing up back in the day, training camp was one of the most grueling experiences, it seemed, of a player's life, but I'm sure it's grueling, but nothing like the old timers kind of went. But it's still physical, they still do back on backers. So, there's definitely moments where, guys can get lit up, but they're your teammates, so you're really not going to try to, hurt your own guys.
The preseason games in the day, the college all-star game at Soldier Field in Chicago, that was full-out football.
I think all those games used to have that all the all-star games used to have that. And you look at the NFL all-star game now, and it's almost it's a non-issue. Back in the day, that had some substance. Never a unless you were Sean Taylor, you're still out there just crushing people. But nonetheless, it was a game to kind of relax and enjoy. But the game changed, and I understand it.
I do too.
If I'm a player, if I'm rooting for a team, I do not want to be a Patrick Mahomes fan and see him get hurt in an all-star game or some event. I mean, I want him there on Sundays. I want him there for the playoffs. I want him there when we're in the Super Bowl. So I get all that. And, I know they want to give season promise to guys who have great seasons. I'm all for that as well. But I just think the idea of the all-star game, I think in all sports, kind of seen its day. And I don't have a fix for it, but I know it's just nothing in all sports. That's nothing I really kind of get into.
And even the preseason games that we're going to start with in a few weeks with the Hall of Fame game, it's not the contact that it used to be. Joe Namath famously injured in a preseason game. He threw an interception against the Lions, and Mike Lucci, who played at Tennessee, was running with the ball, and Namath tracked him down and tackling him, tore his knee up. And they asked him afterwards, do you blame the preseason game on the injury? He said, no, I blame the interception.
Yeah. What, Hansen, was it Jason Hansen? Not Jason Hansen. Chris Hansen. Who was the lineman from Washington that tore his ACL up in Canton years and years ago? And to me, that kind of
John
sets
Jansen.
the modern day.
Jansen.
On Jansen.
Not Hansen. Jansen.
Yeah, Hansen. And that kind of set the great recall there, Brett. But to me, that kind of set the stage of, why are these guys in this game? Why are we
sure
these
did.
guys? To me, it really took it up another notch.
It
of,
did,
hey,
Bo.
let's
That was the
preserve these guys.
demarcation line of this is stupid.
So now when I go to Canton now, I mean, you're going to see just I think Dallas was there, whatever team, but just say whoever's showing up this year, you're going to see the stars on the sidelines, but you're going to see the 4th and 5th, 7th string guys. You're going to see the guys who are going to get cut the following morning on the field.
And they know they're being cut.
Really, they know that. But hey, it's you're playing. It's a difference, and when you're already on the team, you got to do certain things, and when you're fighting to get on the team, you got to go all out, and that's part of it. But it is. The game's changed, and I am all for player protection. I am all for preserving these guys. I still think you need to work because, when the season comes, it's the way we're going. You don't want to be sloppy, and then, guys still get hurt. And it's an inevitable sport. I mean, it's football. Guys are going to get hurt. You turn their leg the wrong way, somebody falls on you, things are going to happen. And it's just part of all sports. But nonetheless, it's here, guys. I mean, it is here. And real quick, Brett, we were doing AFC, and I have all my AFC West notes, but I just let me make sure. I don't want to go live and not have my AFC West notes. So I open your text, and I see Central. I'm like, Central, but it was 5 o'clock Central.
No,
but I got scared. I'm like, we are doing the Central. I'm like, oh, you idiot. But I did realize, I'm like, oh, no, AFC West. And that's how I read my text. I never actually read the first words of the text. I always read the middle of the text.
No Central even exists anymore.
Yeah, but that's where my mind was. That's why my wife and my kids, that's why I went to Home Depot 6 times last week without ever looking at messages. So.
AFC West today, we'll do quarterbacks and coaches. Next week we'll do NFC West. Today's really easy. Next week's not very difficult either.
Yeah, so today, I think, we know, I think we all we're going to have the number one coach. But I think, I went through my notes. Besides the, AFC West, this is the only, or AFC North, this is the only division with 3 Super Bowl coaches in terms of 2 winners and 1 loss.
Oh,
so,
good enough.
You have Reed and Harbaugh, and you have Peyton. So you have 2 winners and a loser of a Super Bowl. So, and then you look at the North where you have, you have Zach Taylor, you have Harbaugh and Tomlin. So it's when you look at that just shows you there's some pedigree in the AFC West. And we have a youngster in Pierce who, the team went to bat for. Max Crosby, the kind of the heart and soul of the Raiders, said, hey, you have to have this guy. So I think it's going to be a competitive division and the fun division.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I want to talk more AFC West, but before we do that, Bo, I almost choked on my lunch today when I saw the headline, Mike McCarthy getting, quote, fed up with Cowboys owner Jerry Jones per report. I mean, not the headline I wanted to see as we get ready to start July.
I don't, as Cowboys fans, I don't know. I mean, McCarthy has done a great job. I mean, they've failed in the playoffs. I don't know if it's all McCarthy's fault. That's all. And again, I'm gonna harp on Quinn and that defense more than I harp on McCarthy. I mean, there are very limited times that offense never show up. That defense gave up plenty of points, and for some reason Quinn gets a job in Washington, and we praise him, and he's the scapegoat. So I just, as a Cowboy observer, I think one, it's Dallas. The expectations are through the roof, regardless of the reality of the situation. Do I think they're a contender? Absolutely. It's a strong NFC. I mean, are they better than the Niners? Not until they beat them. We can't even put them in that realm. So I just think McCarthy.
They're not
where else
close
is he going
to
to go?
San Francisco.
And Dak had his best year last year. I just think there's a lot more upside than negativity. It's just a very sour way that they lost to Green Bay. But that also goes into the self-expectations of, what they think they are and what they perceive they have to be. But I would applaud the move. But how long have I been coming on this program, Brett? And it doesn't matter. It was, any head coach from the time that I began coming on this show, each year we would talk about that coach being on the hot seat for Dallas. No matter if they went to the playoffs. Yeah. So it's this part of being a Cowboys fan. And unless you get Jimmy Johnson or Tom Landry back when they're in the heyday of Super Bowls, I don't think anybody in Dallas is going to be happy.
We did it to Parcells.
I mean, they're going to just if McCarthy goes and they bring in Belichick, if it's not success and Super Bowl right off the cuff, it's going to go back right to the, that type of dynamic. It's Dallas, it's expectations, kind of like with Tomlin. I mean, you think of a guy that's gone, never had a losing record, has gone to 2 Super Bowls. That's still not enough. You have a fan base that demands absolute perfection. And granted, Dallas has been in a heck of a drought, but that drought, I think McCarthy has brought the most water, if you will, back to the campground or campfire than any of the other coaches they'd have previously, absence of Switzer in the last Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's not Death Valley, but it ain't Augusta National.
They have they had that, they had the peak when they were with Zeke and when they were running the ball well, and that was like a different dynamic. And you had the youthful Dak Prescott coming along. And,
they were telling us the new version of the Big Three.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't.
And it was coming, and it wasn't. And now you're going through the second cycle. But when you think of, all offseason, we've talked about Dak, we've talked about Parsons, and we've talked about CeeDee Lamb. I mean, you talk about those type of caliber players all on one team. You could argue Parsons is the best defender in the league, and then you have a quarterback, MVP level. You have a receiver who, on a given Sunday, you could say is the best in the league. So they have ample weapons. I mean, that's a hefty thing. And then you got all the other pieces that kind of come along with it. So they're there. It's just that last game against Green Bay. It was just they got on them early, they self-destructed, and then they could just never get back to a groove. And I think like that when you're in that type of game where you're at home, you've played great at home all along, and then the Packers come in and they get on top of you early. That's kind of like that knockout punch where, you're seeing stars the entire game, and you're never going to actually have your feet underneath you. That was just a blow. That was a punch, and you're just going to get up from the mat. And they never did. And you can't. Any team in that same situation, I think, would be under the same predicament. It kind of reminds me years ago, I think, when the Falcons upset the Packers or something, and I just remember the Packers were just off. They never could get in a rhythm. Rodgers was horrific, and sometimes it just happens. But when it happens for Dallas, it's magnified.
Yeah, it's national news. And the Cowboys, a game I've got circled is when they go to San Francisco on Sunday night, October 27th. Because remember last year coming out of that game, we can't wait to the rematch. We want y'all. Mm-hmm. After getting thumped, they were talking about, we want to play you again, led by Parsons.
Yeah, it sure was.
Fun part about that is, it kind of reminded me of it's kind of the Ohio State-Michigan rivalry that's gone on here for, under Meyer when he was just complete domination over the Wolverines. And yet, Wolverine fans would get excited and, they would think we'd have it. And just kind of like, with Dallas and San Francisco, what have you done? You haven't beat us, but yet they're the Cowboys, so you
keep talking. Yeah.
Give them they have a shot, but it's don't know. It's crazy to think that, Dallas they're so, scrutinized, but it's just because of the team. And it's a good thing. I mean, when you're an iconic team, kind of like the Yankees or anybody like that, you're always going to be under the microscope, and they are.
Yeah.
But that also goes to, when you're a fan of those teams, it's what is the word I'm looking for? That hype, inflation of what you think could happen. It just makes it hurt when reality doesn't.
Well, there's the reason why we don't talk about the Arizona Cardinals like this.
Well, yeah.
No, there's no reason to. There's no history. There's no hype. There's no glory days. But it's Dallas, and you know what it is? They've never been bad enough recently where you can write them off. And they've always, they're good enough to maintain that level of hope. I wouldn't rule them out. I still think they can win the division. When you look at the Eagles, the way the Eagles finished last year, you got to really question how, do they get back on track? Which I do think they will. Other than that, Washington, a team in transition, rookie quarterback. You got the Giants. Who knows what the Giants are going to be? So I think it'll be a two-horse race, Eagles, Cowboys, and it's going to be gritty and ugly because it's the NFC East. It'll be something we'll talk about all season where, if this team gets behind either one, a game or two, it'll probably be hard for them to catch up.
Do y'all pay Dak, Bryant? Do you?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. What are you going to go find better?
Nothing.
It goes back to the Trevor Lawrence thing. You're Jacksonville. You're the best guy, but where else are you going to? It's kind of like a housing market where all the houses are. You want to live in this neighborhood? Well, this is how much the houses go for. Are they overpriced? Of course they are. Do you want to live here? If not, go live across the street. You don't want to live there?
You kind of start liking your old house a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you don't want to live in the old neighborhood. You want to live, where the nice houses are. You want to live next to the Mahomes and the Rodgers and the Herberts and the Burrows and the Josh Allens and the Mark Jacksons and the Pat. That's where you want to live. You don't want to live with the.
And those houses don't come up for sale every day.
Mm-hmm.
No, they don't. And if that's the part, you just it's you want to live in a nice home, I guess. You want to live in a nice neighborhood in terms of these quarterbacks, and that's why the Cowboys will play Dak. That's why the Jaguars paid Trevor Lawrence because they're still top tier guys. Are they Mahomes? Are they? No. There's only one Patrick Mahomes. There's only one Michael Jordan, and that's just the way it is.
And Patrick Mahomes going for the unthinkable 3 in a row. Never has happened in the NFL to win 3 straight. A couple got close, a couple scared it, but it hadn't happened. So we start with the AFC West with quarterbacks. Bo, you go first.
I'm going Mahomes. I think it's
unanimous.
As simple as that. Justin Herbert. I'm going to go with Bo Nix, and I just think he'll be the guy early on. Not necessarily he's going to outplay somebody with the Raiders, but you got Clayton there, you got Minshew. So or O'Connell. I just think Raiders might be a team where if they struggle, they're going to be easy to pull the plug on those guys. So I don't know if they're really going to settle in on any one particular quarterback. I think Peyton's going to kind of hook the horses up to Bo Nix and kind of really fight through it because he has to. So I'm going to go Mahomes, Herbert, Nix, and the whole group of Raider quarterbacks.
And now Bo Nix linked with Sean Payton. Sean Payton's success in Denver largely tied to Bo Nix.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a lot of extra work on Peyton and Nix's.
He's got to make it work.
Kind of get cohesive quickly. Yeah, they got to excel in terms of that gripping it. But we saw Justin Herbert do it. He was able to get it. If you're going to get it, you're going to get it. If you don't, you don't.
That's right. But mine is the exact same as yours, except I have Gardner Minshew just labeled by himself for the Raiders, but I have him in 4th, so ours is the exact same.
You have him in 4th.
Gardner Minshew, yeah.
I have Minshew in 3rd by himself.
Wow.
Not battling out with Aiden and the others, and I think it's directly linked. Maybe not as much as Bo and Peyton, but for Antonio Pierce to get a good takeoff there.
Yeah.
So I go Mahomes, Herbert, Minshew, Nix.
Interesting.
Just
Coaches?
so you guys know, I love Gardner Minshew. I mean, I don't know if there's anybody listening that loves Gardner Minshew, but I just fear that. I'm still upset that he ever got taken away from Jacksonville. I still think, he deserved a better shot there. But coach-wise, got Reed, got Peyton, got Harbaugh, and then Pierce. But the Harbaugh-Pierce, I almost want to give a tie. Harbaugh hasn't been in the game since 2014. We know he was brilliant at Michigan. He was brilliant during his time.
But when he was last there, he was really good.
Yeah.
He was sensational. You know,
Super
and
Bowl
I don't
with
question
Cap.
that. I look at the teams, like I'm thinking, the team-wise, you think of the Chargers with Harbaugh and Herbert, but the defense makes me concerned. Austin Eckler, absent of Herbert, I thought he was one of the most key, vital pieces to any offense in the league. He's no longer there, so I think there is a little bit to apps. I don't know if the Chargers, even with Harbaugh, are going to be a powerhouse. I think they can get there. I just don't know if it'll be this year. And I don't want to get a long breath here, but Peyton, the Broncos, they were I think 5 or something last year. It's 1-5, and they finished 7-4. They won 5 straight. So he turned it around late in the season. So I think there's a lot more to the Broncos and even Pierce.
We thought he might be out, long for the studio days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But I'm going to go Reed. Yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Bo.
Yeah, Reed. I'm going to go Peyton, and then I'm going to go Harbaugh, Pierce, just because I think Chargers are a better team. But I think Pierce has a lot of upside and a lot of backing from that team.
Interesting. So I have Andy Reid, number 1, easy. 2, I have Jim Harbaugh.
I have Harbaugh, too.
And then I have Sean Payton, 3, but I tried everything possible to put Antonio Pierce ahead of Sean Payton. I just couldn't. I need to see a little bit more from him. I wanted to put Antonio Pierce ahead of him.
Distinctly in last.
Wow. See, I have a bad taste in my mouth with Sean Payton, with just how last year, everything around, I don't know. He
created all that. He wanted that.
He did. And, so mine's Reed, Harbaugh, Payton, and Pierce.
I'm Reed, Harbaugh, Payton, Pierce for this reason. Harbaugh over Payton because Sean Payton doesn't go to college and win one. He wouldn't even take a college job.
No.
And would he get welcomed back to the NFL? And the one he got with the Saints, it's a while ago now.
Mm-hmm.
And Pierce, frankly, in a new job.
Oh, yeah.
I know he had some time last year.
Sure.
Here's one for y'all. Who's more number 1, Mahomes at quarterback or Reed as coach?
They're equally one in my mind.
I don't think so, because Andy Reid never held that Lombardi trophy with any other quarterback.
Yeah, but I mean,
had Donovan McNabb, and he couldn't get there with him until he got with Mahomes. The commissioner wasn't handing him anything.
I think Joe. I mean, if we're going to look at Super Bowl coaches, I mean, Joe Gibbs is the only guy that's kind of won. He had Mark Rippon,
3 guys,
Theismann,
Doug
Jay
Williams.
Schrader. So
Doug Williams.
Doug Williams. So those guys are different. Look at Belichick, Brady, Landry, Starbuck. I'm just saying it. Chuck Noll, Bradshaw. I think you do get if you're going to have that window of success, you kind of have that group. So it'd be hard for me. And even with the way that. I think the brilliance of Andy Reid, absent of his offensive mind, is the people he surrounds himself, with Spags and some veteran minds for coaches to kind of really get them. I mean, last year, that offense wasn't the offense. The defense was the stronghold. You had the best player in the world in Mahomes, but you had the defense to back him up. I just think what Reid has done over the last, 3 Super Bowls wins since 2019. I mean, that's an astonishing number for anybody.
Chris Jones is going to the Hall of Fame. It won't be with the ceremony that Mahomes and Kelsey are going in, but they had to have him last year.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The DBs and Snead and McDuffie, those guys, the DBs were just, to me, that was I thought that was the center of success was that back end for that defense. Granted, but you got to get the pressure up front. It takes all 11, but I just really thought that secondary was so good.
Here's a tough one. Greatest Kansas City Chief defensive player ever. Willie Lanier, Buck Buchanan, Derek
Buchanan,
Thomas, or Chris Jones?
I think in the moment, Chris Jones is dominant.
And the longevity that sadly Derek Thomas didn't get to have.
Yeah, he was sensational.
Unreal.
Sensational. What, 7 sacks against Seattle to have the record or whatnot. I'm going to say Derek Thomas. He could have played free safety if they needed him to. Yeah, he was. You talk about that Lawrence Taylor type guy off the edge, just a guy on another level. I mean, Thomas
he could have played tight end.
Jeez.
He was a freak. I'm going to go with Buck. those would be for my guys. I only
Yeah.
see highlights, so it's hard for me to compare. But I've seen Thomas play. I've seen Jones play. And for me, it would definitely.
How Willie Lanier would wear those arm pads. Wasn't anybody messing with him.
Hard to mess with somebody with arm pads, Brad. It's intimidating.
Because that sweat turns them into cast.
That's right. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Well, Bo, as always, thanks so much for joining us. We'll talk to you again next Tuesday.
Thank you, Bo.
Hey, stay safe, guys. Thank you always.
You got it. Bo Marchant with us talking the NFL, the first rankings.
Crazy. I
Started
can't
with the
believe
easy
we're
one.
already here. Well, sure. And then what's next week? We're going NFC West?
That's correct. That's pretty easy too.
Yeah, that's pretty easy. Yeah.
But Andy Reid, he never held a championship trophy. He was introduced to a
very good point.
man named Mahomes.
That's a good point. Yeah, Mahomes, special.
Is he the biggest sports star in the country right now?
Mahomes? Yeah, probably.
Do we forget about him a little?
I think so, maybe a little bit.
Doesn't
Heck,
see-
his teammate, his best buddy and teammate's going on tour at Wembley Stadium with his girlfriend and getting on stage and having a ball.
Shaking it off.
That's right. And then I saw today they're doing a Christmas movie at Arrowhead or something like that.
They're doing what? Where?
Yeah, a Christmas movie or something like that. And I don't know. I didn't read all of it.
Christmas at Arrowhead?
Christmas at Arrowhead. A Chiefs love story. I don't think that's what it's called. I think that's just what they're saying. But yeah, a Hallmark. Chiefs to partner with Hallmark for production of holiday movie. How about that?
Artificial snow or real?
Great question. Always artificial, Brett. You gotta. If you're gonna get it out by Christmas, you gotta film it in the summer. Always
Everybody's
artificial.
sweating.
That's right. You gotta get put those big coats on, and
we're all sweating right now, but we can have that great summer drive, and we want to start it at All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. First exit on Highway 78. You enter into Mississippi, take Kraft Goodman Road, and you're there. To kick off the summer road trip, that's the place to start it. With all the new Silverados, some mark 12% off invoice, a sweet buyer's market, financing as low as 1.9, no payments for 90 days on new Silverados, Equinox, Trailblazers, and much, much more. Nothing beats family trips and a new Tahoe. That's where you should begin, at All-Star Chevrolet. And you get an instant extra $500 bonus for college students, military, grads, first responders, healthcare workers, teachers. You're going off to college, well, you just graduated, you get that $500 bonus back instantly. No matter what pre-owned you're looking for, they have it at Olive Branch, at All-Star Chevy's All-American pre-owned sale. Ram trucks, even a Ram ProMaster cargo van, 4Runners, Jeeps, all in Olive Branch where you can test drive all these vehicles and everything on the lot. Bring any vehicle to All-Star you want to sell, and you get a check today. Everyone at All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch wishes you a very safe and happy 4th of July as we all celebrate our great country's Independence Day. Don't miss All-Star Chevy's All-American sale in Olive Branch. Go to allstarautogroup.com for more.
Holiday Touchdown, a Chiefs love story. Actress Hunter King will play the role of a Chiefs superfan, and Tyler Haynes as the team's director of fan engagement, with the latter evaluating the former's family as they vie to win the team's Fan of the Year contest.
I got a tear now. I think the lovely and gracious Hunter King used to be on my soap opera.
Really?
I'm going quickly to the Google. Wasn't she in one of the crazy movies that the White House was being attacked
maybe
when she was a child?
I'm not familiar with Hunter
Played
King's
Summer
work.
Newman
How about
on The
that?
Young and the Restless,
Wow.
2012 to 2016. I knew it.
So you're already a fan. I mean, wow. I love that. That's great. We'll get you in. We got to figure out a way to get you on like the early screening of it before it comes out, so you can see your girl Hunter King.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, let's go ahead and get to a break. When we come back, we'll talk about what's trending.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to real sports talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
When you
you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
This 4th of July, celebrate freedom with your favorite barbecue store, Memphis Barbecue Supply. Whether you're a grilling novice or a seasoned pitmaster, Memphis Barbecue Supply has everything you need to make this Independence Day unforgettable. From a wide selection of premium chip, chunk, mini logs, pellets, and logs of wood, and over 378 different rubs, sauces, injections, and glazes to choose from. Here at Memphis Barbecue Supply, we have everything but the meat. You can stop by anytime. We're open 7 days a week for your convenience. Our knowledgeable, award-winning pitmasters on staff are more than happy to assist you with any questions you have for your next cook. Memphis Barbecue Supply is located at 7041 Stage Road in Memphis. Or you can order online at mbbqsupply.com. Follow us on all the social media platforms for recipes, new products, and barbecue news.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Marty McNate at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown is turning back prices to give you the best deal in this decade.
Doc gave me orders to turn back time with the 2024 Volkswagen Jetta SE. We got it for $249 a month, and it gets 42 miles per gallon highway. That's much better than my DeLorean, Randy.
You got that right, Marty McNate. And I hear at Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, you got choices.
Take your pick from 2024 Tiguan S front-wheel drive or 2024 Teos SE for $279.28 a month.
Great Scott, McNate. That's Gossett Volkswagen Germantown on Winchester Road. Plus, get 0% for 60 months on Taos.
Your future is whatever you make of it, Randy, so get to Gossett Volkswagen Germantown, 7420 Winchester Road, or shop online at GossettVWG.com.
Summer's heating up, and so are the savings at Choate's. We've got 3 incredible offers to make your season spectacular. First up, our Grill and Chill with Choate's Summer Special. Upgrade your HVAC system and choose between a free Yeti cooler or a Green Egg grill on select systems. Then power through any outage with Choate's generators. Be one of the first 50 customers to buy a generator and score a massive 75-inch TV or an iPad. Also, don't forget about our tankless water heater offer. Purchase a tankless water heater from Choate's and receive a premium toilet free. Don't wait. These offers are too good to last. Turn to the experts with Choate's and call 347-8086 or visit us online today for your free estimate. Now introducing Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, Plumbing, and Generators. Choate's. Let our family serve your family.
Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Brian Davis.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Brian and Brett with you as we got a little less than 30 minutes left in today's show. We've talked a lot about the College World Series last night, Tennessee and Texas A&M. And Darian, I think you've got this pulled up. This was, I want to play this. This was Texas A&M head coach Jim Schlossnagle after the game talking in his press conference to reporters. Go ahead, Darian. Fire that up for us.
Relating today about a specific job opening, what do you have to say about your future in Aggieland?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty selfish of you to ask me that question, to be honest with you. But I left my family to be the coach at Texas A&M. Mm-hmm. I took the job at Texas A&M to never take another job again. and that hasn't changed in my mind. And that's unfair to talk about something like that. That'd be like you asking Montgomery if he's going to sign in the draft. But I understand you got to ask the question, but I gave up a big part of my life to come take this job, and I've poured every ounce of my soul in this job, and I've given this job every single ounce I can possibly give it. So write that.
From all reports, he just accepted the job at Texas.
I'm stunned. I'm stunned, Texas. That won't help matters in their petty world.
No, it won't.
They had to be back channel before the announcement.
Oh.
They had to know they had him before they let the other guy go.
Had to.
And I can only assume he's talking about all the sacrifice that he made. Now, he got paid at A&M, did he? Or did he work? Did he do that job for free?
You know, I'm not sure all
Very
the nitty-gritty details to it, but yeah, you'd assume so.
Okay, so what was the big sacrifice? And how selfish was it? Not even 24 hours later, he's gone.
Yeah, take the job at I love that. I mean, listening to that and then not even...
Well, maybe A&M's not next.
Yeah. When also, like, what... I understand, like, not really, but, like, I understand, like, there are a lot of coaches that have to move very often and you know, family, it's very tough on them. He coached at TCU from 2004 to 2021 and then went to Texas A&M and is now going to Texas. I mean, it's not like he's going from USC to Florida.
Fort Worth, College Station.
I understand Texas is a big state, but I mean...
I'd hate to have to do it, but I think I could walk it. I'd hate to have to do it.
Feel
It'd be
walk,
really hot
but
right
I mean,
now.
yeah. I mean, we're not going from coast to coast.
I mean, we're not, and we're not talking about like he did walk and carried it on covered wagon.
No, I mean
these guys.
That's great. I mean, I loved that. I loved hearing that.
Brian,
Hilarious.
my theory on this is the next guy, our female reporter. They need to back that person up.
Sure.
When it comes to now, it's a fine line. That their outlet's not sending them there.
Sure.
Let's say you go for the Washington Post and I go for the New York Times.
Right.
The Times wouldn't be sending me there to defend you.
Sure.
But shouldn't it be some collegiality there? And, Coach, the question, the answer you just gave him was inane at best and insulting at worst. Let me try it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm with you on that. I would love to see that.
Shouldn't there be more cohesion?
You'd think so, yeah.
Or is it just everybody for themselves?
It's everybody for themselves at the end of the day. And also, I think more of that...
I know he was heartbroken over losing, but
sure.
You shouldn't get...
No.
That agitates you, boy.
And I don't know...
There's a lot to really make you mad.
Yeah, I don't know what reporter asked that question, because I'm sure somewhere like College World Series, it's a lot of, national reporters, different things. So I don't know if it was like an
it sounded like an Aggie guy, though.
It did.
It felt like there was a lot of familiarity there.
Certainly. And so that's one where it's like, all right, there's definitely other Texas A&M reporters in there, and those guys are tight.
Bottom line, they just want to get paid.
For sure. 100%. And, good for him. I'm sure Texas is going to give him a good amount. And, Texas now coming to the SEC with a coach that's shown he can do it in the SEC and do it in the NCAA tournament. So.
I think South Carolina hiring Paul Maneri sent the sign to everybody.
Oh, yeah.
We already take this serious.
Definitely.
We're taking it more serious.
Yeah.
OU and Texas on the way.
For sure.
And in the SEC, it's going to stay at 30 games. So you're going to play 10 3-game weekend series.
Yeah.
8 out of 10 of those are like a super
Oh,
regional.
man. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's so tough in that conference. I mean, it's every weekend is a challenge. And, I mean, you look at the teams that were, bottom of the barrel this year, and you look and it's Missouri that had a first-year coach, and Auburn, who, is always kind of in the middle of the pack or towards the back of the pack. But, I mean, it's every single day.
I sent it to you last night. I saw this note. Since in this century, in the 21st century, in football, basketball, or baseball, everybody in the SEC's won at least one of those. State and Ole Miss got it in baseball.
Sure.
So of the 16, even OU and Texas, everybody except for Arkansas, A&M, and Mizzou.
Crazy. It's insane.
And I don't know what Mizzou's baseball facilities are like, but football's great.
Sure.
Basketball's top shelf.
Yeah.
Arkansas is great in everything.
Oh, of course.
A&M's great in everything. and you hadn't won.
Yeah.
73 different championships. The
crazy.
2 left out, COVID, 2020,
Sure.
baseball and basketball.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Ole Miss might have won it that year.
Might have, yeah.
They were undefeated number 1 that year.
You're right. Yeah.
We'll never know.
That is true. But I also wanted to bring this up today, and I was glad to know that you also had it written down because I saw this morning, immediately thought of you because I knew you would have good insight on this. College football 25 comes out in less than a month. I'm stoked for the game. But this week, they're dropping a bunch of different things. Today, they did the top 25 toughest places to play. A lot of SEC in here, but a lot of places that you have been. So let me go through them and get your opinion. I'll just do top 10 because top 25 is a little much. We'll do top 10. Number 10, Ben Hill Griffin Stadium, obviously University of Florida. 9, Doak Campbell for Florida State. 8, Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium for Oklahoma. 7, Camp Randall for Wisconsin. 6, Beaver Stadium for Penn State. 5, Sanford Stadium, Georgia. 4, Ohio Stadium, Ohio State. 3, Tiger Stadium, LSU. 2, Bryant-Denny Stadium, Alabama. And 1, Kyle Field, Texas A&M. That's the top 10.
Just no way. It's just no way Kyle Fields won. I mean, I don't think Bryant-Denny's 2. I think 1 is Tiger Stadium at LSU. And 6 of these 10 I've been to. Mm-hmm. And when I say I've been to for games. I love people that talk about they've been to and they like drove by at a nephew's graduation.
Yeah,
man, you didn't see anything. Go on a Saturday when it's pitched.
Oh yeah,
when it's for real, when it's for keeps. And Tiger Stadium is the definition of for keeps.
Yeah.
I love Kyle Field. Our friend Richard Cross had a great response on Twitter about this list today, and he said, Kyle Field, big, great, spectacular,
sure.
Everything's perfect. Mm-hmm. I've said visiting locker room, the biggest and nicest going. Just the medical unit attached to the visiting locker room, the MRI machine there.
Wow.
I mean, they're not taking you to the other end. Most places have one, but you go to the one.
Right.
They have one in there.
Wow.
It could be a triage unit in wartime at Kyle Field. But it's nothing tough about it. It's loud.
Sure.
It's fun. It's festive. But it's nothing tough about it. I would rank Tiger Stadium 1, Georgia 2, barely ahead of Bama at 3. Mm-hmm. I've only been to Ohio State once for the Michigan-Ohio State game, so I don't try to sound like an authority because I'm certainly not on that. Florida's much tougher than Kyle Field.
Oh, yeah.
The heat.
Yeah.
If not, and I know it gets hot at College Station, but I think every time we've been there, it was either night or later in the year after the blazing hot weather had subsided.
Sure. Yeah, I'm with you with Tiger Stadium. I mean, everything I've heard from anybody that has ever been to a game down there is it is a completely different world. When
you park, when we pull up in that panel van that says University of Mississippi on it, we're getting a nice reception.
Yeah.
All the way in and all the way back out with the gear on.
Absolutely.
And then we get back out there, and I know everybody has this at every place. And I don't mind it because you can go right through a car wash and it's all off. Everything you can think of has been dumped on that vehicle.
There you go.
From cupcakes to everything else.
Oh, yeah, of course. Of course. So, yeah, I was a little disappointed that LSU was not number 1. But, it has. I did not think there was going to be this much discussion about it this morning, but it's been all over the place, which I think is great for both the game and college football.
I love Tiger Stadium.
Yeah. It's different.
It's for real.
Different. It 100% is for real.
The Friday night vibe in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
And, last time we were there 2 years ago, last time I was there, big game. Both teams were undefeated coming into that game. You could feel it.
Yeah.
Now, one thing that LSU around town, they're patting Ole Miss on the head.
Yeah.
It might as well be they're the 25-year-old brother and the 10-year-old cousin just showed up. Glad you're here. Glad you're having fun. We're not taking y'all seriously at all.
Yeah.
And Ole Miss hadn't won there since 08.
Well, yeah, back to being an extremely tough place to play. I mean,
and been there with some good teams.
Certainly. So that was a fun list today. I know a lot of people have been talking about
It's
that.
list season, isn't it?
It sure is, everywhere. You can find a list for just about anything right now.
But A&M's extraordinary, but they're just so kind.
Oh, yeah.
Around town, on campus.
Right.
I mean, and I told them after that first year we went out there, couple trips to Baton Rouge will sadly change y'all.
Sure. Well, yeah. It's Well, so you're right. List season everywhere, but that was a fun one earlier today.
Auburn should be on that list.
Yeah, Auburn. Let's see where Auburn was.
No better student section in the SEC.
Number 14. Auburn,
way better.
Right behind Tennessee, Neyland Stadium.
Tennessee up there.
That's 13. A ton of SEC for good reason. On here, South Carolina, right? So 13, 14, 15, all SEC schools, Tennessee, Auburn, and South Carolina. So ton of Ole Miss on here.
When Arkansas is close to right.
Yeah.
It's really good.
And Arkansas is 23 on here. Davis Wade Stadium right. for Mississippi State's 25. So a ton of SEC.
Most of the time I'm at Starville's at the Egg Bowl. I've been to other games there, and you know the reaction and what that's going to.
Of course,
incite.
that game's always going to be electric, no matter what's on the line.
It's not a weenie roast.
No, not at all. But let's go ahead and get to our final break of the day. When we come back, wrap up today's show with Taco Bell Crunch Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hi, folks. Dr. Cover Sunrise Buick GMC Truck. It's our 35th anniversary of Sunrise, and we're celebrating with savings that are bigger than ever. Over 600 new cars and trucks to choose from with huge savings. It's a used car buyer's dream. Check it out at sunrisememphis.com. Hundreds of used cars and trucks with a lot specializing in cars and trucks under 20,000. Bad credit? It's okay. You're approved at Sunrise. Remember, we specialize in secondary financing. New cars and trucks aren't free, but at least they're affordable at the 35th anniversary sale going on now at all Sunrise locations. Coming from Pike Blue Chase and Collierville.
Welcome to the Rendezvous.
This is John Vergas. When my dad started the Rendezvous in 1948, I don't think anyone could have imagined we'd still be serving shoulder, cheese plates, and our world-famous dry rub ribs 75 years later. But we are still here in the basement, in an alley in downtown Memphis. We sincerely thank you for making the Rendezvous what it is today. Charlie Vergas Rendezvous. A legendary experience for over 75 years, whether you dine in, pick up, or ship across the country.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus in Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? On America's birthday weekend? Why not stop by America's #1 brakes destination? Right now, you can save 15% when you buy a set of OE quality Duralast pads and rollers, and up to 50% when you bundle Shop Pro brake cleaner and brake fluid. It's Silglide Brake Lubricant. It's just part of our 4th of July sale at AutoZone. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
No one knows the importance of a great assist more than Lowe's and Leo Messi. That's why we've teamed up to give My Lowe's Rewards members 10 times the points when Messi makes an assist during CONMEBOL Copa America USA 2024. Activate this offer starting June 20th, so when Messi assists, you score. Shop the day after an assist to earn those extra points. Not a My Lowe's Rewards member? Join for free today. Visit Lowe's.com/Messi for more details.
It's time to ride during the Gossett Mitsubishi Motors Summer Sales Event. Check out 43 MPG Highway in a new 2024 Mitsubishi Mirage. $17,935 or $249 a month. Need extra room for your vacation? Let Gossett make it happen with 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander. $30,490 or $449 per month. And go for miles and miles with 420 total range in 2024 Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV. $599 a month. Plus peace of mind with Mitsubishi's 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. Gossett Mitsubishi, 1870 Covington Pike and 24/7 at MemphisMitsubishi.com. If you want it, we got it at Gossett.
Mirage Outlander 84 months. Mirage RHO 10934. MSRP 18435. Outlander RZO 55981. MSRP 31490. PHEV RZO 35245. MSRP 48065. Includes 1095 acquisition fee. Sale price includes all rebates and incentives. Excludes processing fee of $695. Lease terms includes processing fee of $695. 15 cents per mile excess wear and tear. With approved credit, see dealer for complete details. Offer valid through end of the month. Dealer stock only.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Brian Davis.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started, so.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that? Goodbye! Hello, high school.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
The double steak grilled cheese burrito, so good. Double the steak with nacho cheese sauce, seasoned rice, red strips, sour cream, and the 3-cheese blend wrapped inside a warm flour tortilla, with even more 3-cheese blend grilled on the top. The double steak grilled cheese burrito, it hits the spot now at Taco Bell. And at Taco Bell, when they say they are feeding people's lives with unexpected good, they mean it. Bowl food you can't get anywhere else.
Well, Brett, I learned today about this new NBA pipeline that seems to be forming from France. You look, obviously, last year, Victor Wembanyama, what he was before the draft and what he became after the draft was really impressive to watch. But I read a story over in the Associated Press that talked about kind of France and how basketball is improving and how there are just so many people paying attention to France basketball. This year, 2 of the top 5 prospects are French. They have the most non-American prospects in this draft of any country outside of course, the United States.
They're on gold medal watch someday.
Oh, they definitely are. And I'll get to that here in a second with kind of the recent, not even
Don't
this
tell me
year.
LA 2028.
No. I don't think that. Well, maybe. I don't think that soon, though. But this is incredible. There are about 750,000 people registered with basketball clubs in France. That's nearly 70,000 more than 2 years ago, and an increase of 170,000 since 2014. And then this number really blew me away. From 2019 to 2021, 4 players total in that span were drafted from France. Over the last 2 seasons, 8 players have been drafted
Here they come.
from France. More to come tomorrow night in this draft. So you're definitely seeing a pipeline starting to form from France.
What I've learned about the Cardinals, they're playing better and should be expected to at least be the last National League wild card. That's not asking too much. I'm not talking about making hotel reservations for the World Series or the LCS or even the LDS, but they should be at least 6 seed, shouldn't they?
Oh, definitely.
Very similar to here. It's not. I'm not asking Penny to win at all.
No.
I'm not asking to go to the Final Four.
No.
Just got to be in the tournament every year and got to
Yep.
make a little noise.
Yep, I think that's what everybody wants to look for. What I could have done without, Brett, I don't know if you saw this last night. I was watching, like I said, I was trying to keep an eye on everything going on last night. But I had an eye on the Olympic trials, track and field up in Eugene, Oregon. I believe they were doing the 800 meters finals. They had done the semifinals the night before. The finals were last night. Athing Mu, who is my age, I believe she's 24, 23. I actually know some people that I went to school with in high school that ran track that are really good friends with her, and obviously got to know her kind of traveling around in high school doing track and field. Says she's a great girl, all of that, great person. But last night, she's one of the favorites and was in the Olympics last time and was one of the favorites to go and be a part of the Olympics this year. Well, during the 800 meters, she trips and falls. I don't think she got tripped up. I think she got tripped up on her own legs. She falls, ends up in last place, completely missing this upcoming Olympics in France. It was so hard to watch. They had the camera on her while she was passing the finish line. She's just in tears because, something that she has worked for the last however many years to get to the Olympics, just gone like that off of a trip in a second. I mean, she was ahead of the pack. She was right in the middle of the pack. She was going to make that push late. Now she's going to have to wait another 4 years.
Where's she run in high school?
She's not from here. I don't know where she ran. She went to Texas A&M, I believe. I don't know exactly where she's from, but kind of going around, travel running.
All that work.
All that work. And so I understand the trials. I like the trials and the stories we get from them, but I do think there is a point where you should have somebody that kind of says, these are the people that we want to go and run for us in the Olympics.
Committee.
Maybe a little bit of a selection
Maybe like some of the smaller conference basketball tournaments make it easier for the better ones to advance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and maybe you still have the trials for a couple, but I think you have set positions for the best of the best that are going to go and dominate in the Olympics.
I could have done without this. So what do we really want in American sport? Do we want dynasties? Or do we want everyone kind of joining in on the fun? NBA, 6 different champs the last 6 years. NHL, 7 and 8 years. Baseball, 9 and 10 years. Do we want a dynasty or do we want everybody having fun?
That's the great question, Brett, because it feels like we're always in that of whenever there's a dynasty
Chiefs are going to be a good test case.
It's going to be a good one because it feels like every time there's that idea of a dynasty forming, it's, oh, man, I can't wait to see the dynasty.
And we love them early.
Great team.
We love Golden State early.
Exactly.
We love the Red Sox until they became the evil empire.
But then once you get, it's the Cavs and the Warriors playing every single year.
Boring.
And it's we want
Passe.
new. We want new. Where are you beaming tonight?
Camden Yards for 50-win Cleveland versus 49-win Baltimore. If this would be the ALCS, I'd love it. Logan Allen, 8-3 lefty tonight against lefty. Cole Irvin, AL Manager of the Year, runaway, Steve Voigt.
Yeah, no, that's, I think, an easy pick. Beam me to a game that's already started. The Phillies and the Detroit Tigers, a matchup between two of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball right now. Ranger Suarez, 10-1 with a 1.75 ERA going for the Phillies. On the other side, Trick Skubal, 8-3 with a 2.50 ERA going. That should be a fun one. Good pitching matchup.
Battle for Gotham tonight. Yankees in Queens against the Mets. Also, second night of White Sox visiting the Dodgers. That was the 1959 World Series played at the L.A. Coliseum.
Is that right?
With 100,000 people at every game.
Far from being a World Series matchup this year, I'm afraid, when it comes to certainly the Dodgers could do it.
That was the first West Coast World Series ever.
Wow, that's incredible. But the White Sox, nowhere near a World Series push this year, but maybe they can make a game out of it tonight in L.A. But that's all the time we have today. Enjoy your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.
Looking for sports in all the wrong places? Try the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. Fun, friendly, exciting, and comfortable with wall-to-wall TVs for all your favorite games, 24 taps for all your favorite beers, including NA and local craft beers, and an in-front-of-the-wall full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. And in an upscale menu, patio seating, daily specials, and events, and you found all your sports in the one right place. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square, Highway 70.
All 650 acquisition fee, Telluride RG 510849, MSRP 38305, Forte LXS RE 780 169, MSRP 21820. Includes all rebates and incentives. Must finance through Hyundai. Excludes tax title and license. See dealer for complete details. Offer valid through 6/30/2024 with approved credit. Dealer stock only.
Hey Jeff, I hear you've got the Kia Summer Sticker Sales event going on right now at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah. Give me some scoop.
Randy, the scoop is I'm ready to put you in a new Kia for less. 2024 Kia Forte LXS 41 MPG Highway, $199 a month, $34.99 do-it signing. How about a 2024 Kia Telluride LX 357 a month, $39.99 do-it signing, 24-month lease.
Plus 0% for 48 months on 2024 EV9. And every Gossett Kia comes with a 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain limited warranty.
So whether you live in Horn Lake, South Haven, Olive Branch, or Memphis, you'll be happy at Gossett Kia South on Mount Moriah.
Gossett Kia South, 2680 Mount Moriah, or online anytime. KiaMountMoriah.com.
Memphis Public Links has so much going on right now. Audubon is right around the fairway. Wait until you see when this thing is a finished product. Fox Meadows is in great shape. The Links at Pine Hill is now a masterpiece of a place to play, as are really all the other Memphis public golf courses. Galloway is playing like a championship course. They just finished the 75th year of the OPO, and Overton Park is now talked about, and that layout all across the state. And by the way, folks, it's so easy to make a tee time. The hard part is getting your buddies to pick their time. You go online to memphispubliclinks.com, select your course, then grab your tee time. Simple, easy, and incredibly convenient. Also, on the website is a schedule of upcoming events. There you'll find something that will interest you. Again, if you want to book a tee time or find out more about tournaments or other events at any of the great Memphis public golf courses, go online to memphispubliclinks.com.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
No one knows the importance of a great assist more than Lowe's and Leo Messi. That's why we've teamed up to give My Lowe's Rewards members 10 times the points when Messi makes an assist during CONMEBOL Copa America